401ks or IRAs. In times like these, the most trusted store of wealth in human history stands out. Physical gold and silver. Many Americans have looked to True Gold Republic for help. They specialize in helping those with a 401k, IRA, or other retirement accounts convert their stocks and bonds into physical gold and silver to protect their hard-earned savings. True Gold is
on film.
I'm Anna Eliopoulos. In theaters, the latest Francis Ford Coppola sci-fi film, Megalopolis. An architect played by Adam Driver is tasked by the federal government with demolishing and rebuilding the city.
My plan is a city that people can dream about.
But faces opposition from the mayor, who likes things the way they are. Giancarlo Esposito, Aubrey Plaza, and Shia LaBeouf also star. Also in theaters, the animated film, The Wild Robot.
Sometimes, to survive, we must become more than we were programmed to be.
An intelligent robot named Roz, who ends up stranded on an uninhabited island, partners with the native animals to care for an orphan baby goose. On Apple TV Plus, Wolves. A fixer is hired to cover up a high-profile crime, only to find out someone else was hired to do the same.
I don't need your help. Really? Yeah, really.
George Clooney and Brad Pitt unwillingly team up to finish the job. That's Fox on Film.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
A state of emergency in 51 Florida counties. Lisa Brady, Fox News, as Hurricane Milton heads for the state less than 2 weeks after Helene.
All folks on the west coast of the Florida Peninsula should be prepared for potential major impacts.
Though Governor Ron DeSantis says there's still some uncertainty about the track. Right now, Milton is a Category 5 hurricane.
It is predicted that this will weaken, but it was not predicted that it would get this strong to begin with. So we can hope and pray that it does weaken. But as of right now, this is a ferocious hurricane.
The center of the storm could make landfall Wednesday evening, possibly in the Tampa Bay region, which hasn't had a major hurricane head-on in more than a century. A candle lighting at the White House to mark 1 year since the Hamas terror attacks that led to the war in Gaza.
A year after the October 7th attack against Israel, 101 hostages remain inside Gaza. More than half of them, according to a senior Israeli official, are still alive.
Fox's Trey Yingst. In New York City, hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters are marching, some vandalizing two city university campuses. Georgia's heartbeat abortion law is reinstated a week after a lower court called it unconstitutional.
A judge in Fulton County recently striking down a Georgia law barring most abortions in the battleground state after 6 weeks of pregnancy, noting 6 weeks is often before women know they're pregnant, and saying the right to liberty includes a person's right to make decisions about their own health care. The ruling meant abortion was legal in the state up to 22 weeks of pregnancy, but the state appealing the decision days later.
Fox's Christian Goodwin. The state Supreme Court now allowing the 6-week ban to remain in place while it considers the state's appeal. A sell-off on Wall Street, the Dow down 398 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
On Guam, family is everything. But for many, we're getting sandwiched between caring for our aging parents and for our kids and grandkids. It's a blessing, but for some working families, it's challenging. I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this ad because caring for family shouldn't be impossible. A key priority for me will be working to expand federal support for childcare, fully fund universal pre-K, and increase access to elder care insurance and assisted living. It's great for the economy, but it's also great for families.
Paid for by Ginger Cruz for Congress.
Boss, I got run over by a forklift.
Boss, I crashed the company truck.
What do we do? Our warehouse and inventory are gone.
Hi, this is Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and it's time for Risk 101. Everything you just heard are examples of risk your businesses can face. Our job is to ask the hard what-if questions and teach you how to reduce your exposures and help you recover if things go sideways. We've got decades of experience in Micronesia working with businesses big and small. Call AB Risk Solutions today at 777-2668 for a free inspection and quote.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
wrongful death claim as part of a civil suit.
The ruling allows a couple to sue the Center for Reproductive Medicine based in Mobile for destruction of their frozen embryos. The clinic said a patient got access to storage and dropped some samples, including one belonging to the couple. Alabama's highest court says under state law, embryos are considered children. That law caused many clinics that offered in vitro fertilization to put the procedures on hold. The Mobile-based clinic appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, saying its right to due process was violated. Two other couples who were part of this suit have dropped their claims. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
2 years after SpaceX was denied more than $800 million in rural broadband subsidies for its Starlink satellite internet unit, a House panel is investigating the decision. The FCC said Starlink failed to meet basic program requirements and could not demonstrate it would deliver promised service. The Republican chair of the House Oversight Committee now asking the FCC to turn over documents this month. A crash scene investigation in outer space.
It sounds like a movie plot. A killer asteroid is hurtling toward Earth. Can a spacecraft knock it off course and save the planet? That's exactly the question NASA and the European Space Agency are trying to answer. 2 years ago, NASA rammed a small, harmless asteroid to see if it would change course. And today, the European Space Agency's Hera spacecraft is beginning a 2-year journey to the asteroid to examine the impact's aftermath and see what happened to it. Researchers want to know if NASA's DART spacecraft left a crater or reshaped the asteroid.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers recapping the Wall Street slide. The Dow drops nearly 400 points. The S&P also down nearly 1%. The NASDAQ down more than 1%. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Senator Duenas fought to get $20 million in additional education funds and $30 million appropriated to GMH. Senator Chris Duenas' Malik legislation will put more police officers on the streets, and Senator Duenas is always ready to take on Guam's newest challenges. His housing bills will allow for greater construction flexibility. Re-elect Senator Chris Duenas. Focus, balanced, ready.
I am Chris Duenas, and I approve this message.
Are you looking for some eye-catching wheels? Need new tires? Maybe you'd like to spruce up the interior with accessories. Find what fits your ride at Proline. Call 646-5528. Follow them on Facebook at Proline Guam for all the juicy updates.
Half a day. I'm Jesse Anderson Lujan. I'm running for re-election to keep improving life on Guam. We need to rebuild tourism, lower airfares, build a new hospital, improve public schools, reduce inflation, and fight crime. There's so much to do, and I need your support to continue this work. I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you very much. Suzu Usmaase and Meraman Salamat Po. I'm Jesse Anderson Lujan, and I approve this message.
Nissan Guam is looking for first-time car buyers. See Nissan first and get our best prices and easy financing without a cosigner. Get a brand new Versa as low as $143 per paycheck, Sentra as low as $161 per paycheck, the Kicks as low as $164 per paycheck, and the Frontier as low as $239 per paycheck. Pre-qualify for financing at NissanGuam.com today. Some conditions apply. See Nissan Guam for details.
This time check is brought to you by Ginger Cruise for Congress. Now more than ever, Guam needs strength, experience, and intelligence in Congress. It's time for a leader. Vote Ginger Cruise.
Paid for by Ginger Cruise for Congress.
Confident Good Morning Guam at 6:06 on Tuesday, October 8. I'm Donna De Jesus with a look at your local news on The Point. A man admitted to police that he stole a bicycle and traded it for drugs. Court documents state Barry Suda, also known as Rambo, was charged with theft. On September 20, a woman reported her $700 Trek bicycle stolen from a Hagatnya condominium. Security footage showed 2 men involved in the theft. Days later, police located Suda, who confessed to taking the bike and later trading it for meth and PD. The investigation started after an officer who had reviewed the footage received information from homeless individuals about Suda's whereabouts. He was found working at a local restaurant when questioned. And a man found sleeping in a running vehicle near Mauricio Martyr's Memorial School has been arrested for possessing meth. Police discovered Adrian Tikenko in a parked Toyota Tacoma pre-runner with fraudulent plates while searching for a stolen vehicle. Upon waking, he consented to a search, revealing 2 bags of suspected meth in a pouch. Officers also found drug paraphernalia in the truck. Tikenko faces charges for possession within a drug-free school zone. He has a history of similar offenses and is currently held at DOC with bail set at $7,000. We'll have more news after this.
Okay, what's BP Smart Pay?
So it uses your smartphone to pay when shopping at the grocery store, mall, or wherever they accept contactless payments.
Restaurants too?
Yep.
Okay, how?
It's easy. Go to your wallet on your smartphone and enter your Bank Pacific Visa debit card, and presto, your smartphone is now Smart Pay ready.
BP Smart Pay. I like it.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots for over 70 years. Member FDIC.
A proposal to convert Guam International Country Club's golf course into a solar farm has been delayed. Senator Joseph Augustine pulled back Bill 179, which sought to amend the Chamorro Land Trust Commission lease amid concerns that it shortchanged the CLTC. Senator Tello Taitugui called it a sweetheart deal, noting the lease extension through 2055 would only increase payments by $482 monthly. Speaker Therese Terlahi raised concerns about basing the lease on outdated appraisals and pushed for better terms. GPA confirmed it received a bid for a solar project at the site, but has not awarded any contracts. And the future of Simon Sanchez High School's temporary campus remains uncertain, as FEMA has yet to confirm funding for 90% of the costs. Due to the lack of commitment, Senator Roy Quinata withdrew Bill 321, which would have allocated $7 million from excess revenues to lease a temporary site. Quinata says moving forward without FEMA's approval would be fiscally irresponsible. Despite a recent meeting, there's no update from FEMA, which is also dealing with Hurricane Helene's aftermath. Two options for a temporary campus remain: leasing the Tumon Bay Mall for $25 million or building modular units near the old campus for $17.2 million. And those were your top stories right here on The Point. Now here's Charlie Hermosa with your weather.
And good morning, Guam. Here's the weather on today. Showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm. Some of the storms could produce heavy rainfall, mostly cloudy with a high near 86, southwest winds 9 to 14 miles per hour. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 78. West-southwest winds 7 to 11 miles per hour. Tomorrow, Wednesday, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm, mostly cloudy with a high near 86, southwest winds 9 to 15 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 22 miles per hour. Wednesday night, showers likely and possible a thunderstorm, cloudy with a low around 78. West-southwest winds 8 to 15 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 21 miles per hour. Thursday, showers likely, cloudy with a high near 86. Thursday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 78. Heat index 96 degrees, 60% chance of rain. It's a little higher than 50%. Rip current and surf hazards are in effect. Sunrise is at 6:11 a.m. Sunset will be at 6:06 p.m. Landon will actually be in the top of the hour to give us a little bit more weather, kind of give us a little more on any new developments there, and that is your weather.
Hungry? Fill your belly and your load balance with a free meal when you purchase IT&E prepaid cards or SIM at 76 Circle K. Munch on a delicious hot dog or big grab chips while sipping on a Polar Pop and connecting with loved ones. Visit ITE.net or visit any 76 Circle K for details. IT&E. Connections that matter.
Update, I'm Tony Ada. As a fellow Republican and Primo, I know Vic Gaza. The legacy of public service of Tun Pete, Pedro Diaz-Perez, Vic's grandfather, is what spurs his passion to serve our people. Now it's his turn to bring his ideas forward and make those plans become reality, all while working with all his fellow senators to get the job done right. I look forward to see Vic serve our people. I'm voting for Vic, and I humbly ask that you give Vic one of your votes in this general election. Si Jesus Maasi, maraming salamat po, and Viva Guam.
I'm Vic Gaza, and I approve this message.
Are you planning a trip to the Philippines? Why not come back feeling healthier and more rejuvenated? At the Medical City, we offer world-class healthcare services, including comprehensive executive checkups and top-tier aesthetic treatments for as low as $530. Imagine lounging on white sandy beaches, shopping at top-tier shopping centers, and indulging in premium healthcare all in one vacation. Book your getaway now and experience the best of both worlds. The Medical City, your trusted partner in health.
News and weather was brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 70 years. The Ray Gibson Show featuring Charlie Hermosa is also brought to you by Wendy's. They brought back the 2 for $4 breakfast deal. That's right, for your morning cravings. Choose from the sausage biscuit or the sausage cheese English muffin, small seasoned potatoes, and medium coffee. You got to choose 2 only, okay? That's why it's called 2 for $4. Do the math, but choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $4 breakfast deal. The Ray Gibson Show also brought to you by American President Lines, a global presence with a local home.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Good morning, Guam, and welcome to the Ray Gibson Show. My name is Charlie Hermosa, standing in for Ray. Good morning, Real Joe. Good morning, Donna D.
Good morning. Are you really standing?
What?
Dude,
I'm
you're not
sitting
standing.
Well,
okay, we don't want people to think you're super short, man.
I know, and that's the thing. And every time, they would
sitting in for Ray.
They would make a joke about that. They'd be like, everybody stand up. They'd be like, Charlie, stand up. I am standing up.
Attention on deck, sir.
So, but unless Ray hit the jackpot last night, he should be on his way back to Guam.
He might have.
You never know.
He might have won a lot of money. I haven't heard from him.
I haven't seen any.
That's when it happens.
It
blocks everybody.
Doesn't say. A lot of
deletes his social media.
A lot of the winners, right? I mean, a lot of the folks that win those huge jackpots on the mainland, you never know who they are.
They would disappear.
They wouldn't say they won. I mean,
relatives? What? No.
All of a sudden,
Kids?
you have all these. Exactly.
No.
You are my parents. So great show yesterday. It looked like everything went well from Las Vegas.
God, I couldn't tell, man.
You couldn't tell?
I was in here. Yeah, I couldn't tell. I couldn't watch the show. But it was fun for sure. Ain't nobody doing remotes like that.
No, that was great. I mean, I think, again, technology definitely works. And the more Ray does it, I think the more comfortable he feels about, doing a little, traveling around.
Oh, yeah, believe us. Believe us, Donna and I.
Yes.
He does his best.
And so, but great folks they had on yesterday in Las Vegas for the activities there.
Yeah.
So,
all those white tomorrows, man. And they sound so howly.
But,
that's what I noticed, man.
You lose a little bit of the act. You have to.
That's our culture, man.
What do they call those? Coconuts?
The
Brown on the outside.
Remember coconuts? Oh, Donna. But you're going to trigger people this morning.
But a lot of the conversation, and that's one of the things I was talking about yesterday. A lot of the conversation always leads back to our food here, right? I mean,
it's the food,
local
man.
cuisines, families that, because, somebody said, well, they can make it themselves. Yeah, absolutely. But
good luck,
when you're able to find
Thai chili peppers,
the local, really, I mean, those local dishes. And I have not seen any, or I have not heard of any. And if there is one out there, but I mean, I have not heard of any business or any restaurants really do bad in areas like Vegas, California, Washington. I mean, Oregon. I mean, they're just.
They get the return customer for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, what is this?
Absolutely. So, yeah, would really love to get more feedback on how everything else went on the afternoon, evening activities in Las Vegas, because obviously GVB was putting on this event, and it was a great event to get actually everybody together. And leading up to other discussions that were happening yesterday was, when you walk through Tumon or you're running through Tumon like Real Joe does in the evenings, right? I mean, you see a little bit of, you don't see a lot of activities going on. And I think that's one of the things that GVB was doing in Las Vegas was to rally up, what is it that's going to take for the either, everybody to come back to Guam or, the Japanese and the Korean markets to revisit or come back. And, what is it really going to take? And I think they touched on a little bit. I think that we've been on survival mode for the last couple of years on, whether it's restaurants, whether hotels, any business, business, it's been on survival mode, right? So like, what do we do to be able to turn on the lights the next day? And then a little bit of what the what attracts the folks to come to Guam was the local culture. Like, so one of the things I think that Governor Gutierrez was saying was like, we need to go back to revisiting and kind of rebuilding back to what made the island so beautiful, and that was the culture.
Old school.
Yeah, old school. And I think that
getting them into the villages,
mingling with the people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And So again, I think that a little bit of the twist, it's probably easier said than done than, kind of walk away from that survival mode because, when you're looking at, between 40 to 50% occupancy in the hotels, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough for the, hotels to be able to survive and the restaurants, or, to continue. So there has to be something there, though. There's definitely a new formula that we have to come up with to be able to get us through the next, couple
creative
years.
ways.
There has to be.
So that when the tourists are not really coming, the locals are really coming.
I mean,
and they're showing up, at these places.
I mean, I don't know if you recall back during COVID, when we could go back to the restaurants, and there wasn't a lot of tourists. A lot of locals went out and they were sitting and dining and not having to wait.
We were the tourists.
Yeah, we were the tourists. We were spending the money, even though we knew we were going to run out of it in a couple of months. So,
but
you know
all
what?
supporting each other and helping our economy continue.
Absolutely.
We barely breathe.
Absolutely. But again, there's a new formula there that we have to come up with because we have to have a little bit of that allure to get back the folks to come back and really feel the culture. So both from a tourist perspective and then folks that are coming back to see family. A lot of discussions happen because of the price of getting out here is really costly. So and we actually I actually had the opportunity to go out to Fiji. And I met with a couple of families that actually were from the mainland that had flown to Fiji, family of four. And I was like, hey, listen, but when you look at the airlines and the number of airlines they have going from the mainland to Fiji, it gets very competitive. So I think that the cost for a round trip ticket from the mainland West Coast to Fiji was between $650 to $750 per person round trip.
That's silly.
Which is
what?
Very, very competitive. So
yeah, that's crazy.
So when we look at the infrastructure and what we need to do to be able to really get that support back up, the airlines, we definitely have to tap into the airlines and see what we can do there from a seasonality perspective to, maybe on low seasons get those rates coming and get folks coming back.
How about we buy our own plane, Charlie?
Buy our own plane?
Could we do that?
I mean,
the government of Guam buy its own plane.
Air Nauru, right? Look at Air Nauru. Air Guam
never shows up on time. Always late to the gate.
No, I mean that would be great. Like first come first serve. Grab a seat like Southwest, right?
It's, tomorrow style.
Yes, and so again, we'd love to hear more on the activities that happen. I think that it's interesting. And GVB does have to get out there and really do what they're doing. And they had it in Japan, out in Las Vegas, and I mean that's you have to create that buzz. And you can only do it so much social media when you create these events and you're actually there. People are actually shaking hands and having long discussions. That face to face will always, even on the business side, it's
valuable.
It will always go a long way. So looking forward to hearing more on what's going on and maybe other activities that are happening. Right, it's October. We're heading into Halloween. Then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas.
Beer. I'm sorry. Every time you say October, I'm like beer.
No, it's going on. I mean, we spoke about this in the last time I was here, and it's if you do have an opportunity, go into YouTube and look at some of these videos of the folks that have partied a little too hard in Oktoberfest, and so but they're pretty interesting, and the amount of beer that's being consumed is just unbelievable. So, those numbers are pretty high, but they match up to what the videos kind of intel. Folks not being able to really stand on their two feet.
Be responsible.
Absolutely. Well, in certain, as long as you're with a buddy, but if he or she are the same way, then it gets.
Yeah, don't drink with your designated driver. Don't do that.
No, exactly. So much stuff going on, around the world. Obviously today, October 7th, on October 7th, yesterday was the anniversary of the attacks in Israel. And, that's sort of what sparked everything that's going on with Hamas. So don't know if Hamas is regretting what they did because, that was sort of the match that lit everything that's going on now. And as we see it and as we see it unfolding and happening, it's, I don't see anything. I don't see an end or a peace in sight. I think, things are going to continue to escalate. Or maybe they're waiting to see what happens on November 5th. You know, what's going to happen? Are we going to be,
Oh, yeah, that's a
talking to
deciding factor for
are
a
we
lot
gonna
of
be,
things.
Are we going to be talking to a President Harris, or are we going to be talking to a
Yeah.
President Trump? Right. So, and listening to the news and listening to President Trump talk. I mean, he's very avid. I mean, these are the things that he's been trying to promote and say. Day one, this is what he's going to do, and ceasefire, being able to get everybody on the table, discussions, all that good stuff. So, a lot of stuff going on in the world. Obviously that's one of the a sad anniversary out of Israel, but something that we shouldn't forget, and we need to make sure that we pay our respect to that as well. Other things happening around the world. Well, not around the world, but around our nation on the mainland. Looks like there's another major hurricane developing. So Hurricane Milton, Hurricane Milton is developing in the Gulf, heading straight to Florida. Again. Yes,
They're doubling up.
And so maybe Landon can share some.
I hope so, man.
Because
maybe the federal government will wake up about that time.
Well,
and send some aid.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be cool.
There is
I'm just saying,
there is a lot of quote unquote misunderstandings as far as what they were talking about. When they were providing FEMA funds to be able to support the undocumented, the illegal immigrants that are coming across the board, and now they're, the administration is coming back and saying, well, wait a minute, no, that's not what we meant. We didn't give any money out, from FEMA because, our some of the families in North Carolina or individuals are only getting $750 per, incident or some of the care that they're getting from the government right now, but $750. Now, if you look at it and you match that up with what the undocumented illegal immigrants are getting, is completely off the charts. So something doesn't seem right there.
Something's not sufficient at all.
Something's not right. And so
I spend that much walking out the door, man.
Oh, I mean, just on a long weekend,
it's crazy.
$750 is Amazon.
It's gone.
And,
the
3 packages, boom, right out the door.
Then
right
what?
Out the door. Then what? Exactly.
Stomach's grumbling.
Absolutely. And so now, Hurricane Milton it's on its way, and this the governor was on earlier, and one of the things that he said is it will most likely be one of the largest, might be the largest evacuation operation that they have going on right now. So they're really pushing a lot of the families on the coast to really go to higher ground, move up, go north, or go away from any potential impact of the hurricane. But we still have, in every hurricane, you still have a lot of families that will not leave their homes. They hunker down.
Oh no, yeah.
And unfortunately,
this is my land.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna die on this land.
No, exactly. And so, we hope that everybody listens to the warnings. But we always have families that will go down with their homes. So hopefully, there's not major. I mean, I foresee, obviously, it's almost forming to a Category 5 hurricane. So, you can just imagine the winds. There's definitely going to be massive destructions, but if we can limit the amount of deaths, that's what we're looking, that's sort of our hope, that folks are really, adhering to the advice that the law enforcement are giving them so that they can move to different areas and be safe. So hope and praying for a safe, outcome, and we'll see. So, and yeah, Bill Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, no. You were looking at me with those eyes.
Yeah, I was giving you those eyes. Like,
yes.
We got to welcome the people,
Absolutely.
man.
Let's go ahead and welcome.
We got to welcome all these survivors.
Always.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. You want to go where people know people are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
I know you.
Oh, look at this list. Look at this list. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Lori, good morning. Bennett Lujan, good morning. Ken, good morning. Elena Garcia, good morning. Stephen Blake, buenas. Charlie and the Point Gang, thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome to the channel.
Jerome McDonald, good morning. Charlie Donna, Real Joe, Jerry Roberts. Let's see. Let's keep going down the list. I know I saw Eunice. Good morning, Sir Miss Sarita's. Good morning.
Good morning, Sarita.
Yeah, apparently she finished her run already this morning. Okay. Corrine, good morning. Renee, have a day. Charlie, good morning. Sarita Armlin, good morning. Joseph, good morning. Mike Grace, welcome to the jungle. Jerome McDonald on the freeway on the way to California.
Oh, I wonder if he ran into Ray.
I know that. I think that was he heading. Did he head over? I think he was.
Yeah, he was on his way when
way.
Ray was doing the show, but that's a little bit of a jump.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a little drive. So
yeah, Jerome. So if you're listening to these, please make sure you drive safe out there. It's those freeways. Those freeways are
it's
just
up to you,
insane.
sir. It's America, man.
Yes,
land of the free. Maybe
Ray's on. Thanks, Charlie.
Ray who?
So maybe he's got a money bag.
Oh, good morning,
no,
Ray.
Just kidding.
He's got the bag. He's coming home with the bag.
Andrew, good morning to the Point Familia. Chris Frank, top of the morning to the Point family and friends. Rico, good morning.
Baba Yaga.
Yes, good morning, good morning. Have a safe Taco Tuesday. Commute to Guam. Okay, Margaret, good morning. Vince Vorha, good morning, Vince. And, Vince is another hard charger right now.
He's a candidate.
Oh, he is a candidate. And, he's out there. And, in the mornings when I see some of the videos that he pops up on, he's in the morning, he's in the
fresh.
evenings.
He's
making, he's making his round. So definitely, Vince definitely has one of my votes there for sure. He's been if you listen to his platform and his background, definitely some new blood that we need in
so
there.
So you might support him when you go to vote.
Oh no, I will.
Don and I are thinking about it. We haven't seen any donuts though.
Oh,
so we're just now we wait for donuts to show up.
Okay,
then we make our decision.
Yeah. That's always good. That's always good, kind of good balance. But yeah, you got to listen to his platform. I think it would be very refreshing to have somebody like Vince.
No doubt, he's a go getter.
Oh, absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely. Chris Frank, good morning. Rico again. Michelle, good morning. Gina Marie, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Sarita again. Christine, good morning. Bunker, good morning. Sarita again. Gerald, good morning. Rob, good morning. The happy family. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Enjoy day. Hurry, Ray Gibson home. All right.
Hurry up and come home.
Yes,
Ray.
please. Yes. Let's see. Who else do we have? Dave. Good morning. Bunker. Chris. Frank. Good morning. Good morning. Great folks. Good Jim, but not a good morning. Answer for tourism isn't in Vegas. Now, Jim. Yeah. Now. But
Who said that?
But what about if
Who
we
said
do?
That?
So what about if we do put some money down and we hit the jackpot? Maybe we'll just bring back the money. But good morning, Jim. Absolutely, and that would be a great discussion to have. So maybe we can save that for later this afternoon. Would love to listen to more great ideas. Rico, good morning. Bunker, good morning. Sherry, good morning. EOD, kaboom. Hey, good morning. Yes, boom, boom. Keiti Hattig is watching us as well. Edward, good morning. Rico, Edward, and it just keeps going on and on. Just great mornings here. Mikey Schnipp, good morning. Good morning, Pari. Rico, good morning. Lonnie, good morning. And it goes on and on. Ken, okay, we said Ken. Steve, good morning. All right. I think we finally caught up with the list here.
You gonna check the YouTube?
Yeah, let's check the
We
YouTube.
got YouTube people, man. They don't know how to Facebook, so they go to YouTube.
All right. So let me just make sure. No, you know what?
They're not on the Facebooks.
No, and I'll be honest. As much as I think I'm a tech, I was like I can't log into when you guys were down on Facebook, I was like I can't log into YouTube. What's going on? And it was just like a simple password issue. But okay, Rodolfo here. Good morning. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning. Gemma, good morning. Sean Gamatata, good morning. If he's not waving already, Sean's another great candidate.
Oh, he's running.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? And then again,
good morning, Sean.
And you know what? And I think one of the reasons why I say they're good candidates because for me, I really study the platform that they have. And so, for me, having a good vision to how we want Guam to be is really important to me, because we understand not everything's going to happen overnight. But if you have the right vision, right, and you have the drive to be able to understand how everything works within that arena,
mindset,
I think that's the attitude that we need. So that's another one that will be getting my vote. And Sean doing another phenomenal job. Always out there waving, and it's the usual clan waving out there. If you see the
switch
pictures,
arms, sir, because you'll get one arm bigger than the other. You just switch those arms.
Absolutely. Tommy, good morning. Walter, good morning. JW, good morning. Let me see, keep going down. Peta, good morning. Let me see, who else do we have on the YouTube side? Bad Boy 671, good morning. Let me see. SP Borja, good morning. Looks like that's
hey, morning, Sergeant Rectum.
Sergeant Rectum.
Right there. There he is. Morning,
Oh,
sir.
there he is. Yes.
Yeah. We salute you.
Yes. We stand and salute. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this morning. And so going back to our, so we were talking a little bit about the Hurricane Milton. And I think Land is going to join us a little bit later in the top of the hour. Maybe
we
can
talk weather.
Yeah, we can talk weather, local weather. I mean,
and the tower that he's been building with his little brother.
I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, I don't know if they're done. We'll find out.
I mean, they were progressing on Saturday afternoon. We actually were doing a part of the Starbase STEM program. We were actually doing we had our little booth there and showcasing the drones and all that good stuff. And one of the cool things that Landon allowed us to do was fly around the tower and actually land on it.
Oh, really?
Yes. So we were
to go inside with the drone.
Well, no, they
went that small.
That would be pretty tricky. But we were like, let's not do anything. Not just
we'll
yet.
Knock it over.
So they were able. They were kind enough to.
Sorry about that, bro.
Yeah, they were kind. Yeah, exactly. Be like, you hit that one block that
Tower for Charity brought down by Charlie Hermosa drone. That would be a great headline.
No. So they were kind enough to put a an area that we can land, and so we did, and we were actually looking at the footage yesterday. It's pretty cool. So hopefully we'll get something done by tomorrow or Thursday. But the video was pretty good. With that, we will switch over to Donna D with the news.
Get him, Donna.
Okay. The oversight hearing for the Guam Homeland Security has been postponed again. Senator Dwayne St. Nicholas cited the ongoing legislative session as the reason for the delay. The hearing will address audit findings revealing GHS OCD owes $8.4 million to the general fund and $34.7 million in question costs. The hearing is now set for November 13. And Southern High School is reopening for in-person learning this morning after passing a health inspection with a C rating and 29 demerits. The school had been closed since August due to safety concerns with students attending online classes. GDOE says the reopening demonstrates their commitment to maintaining health standards for student safety. And Vero's third annual Purple Gala takes place this Saturday at 6 at the Hyatt Grand Ballroom. The fundraiser supports victims of domestic violence and abuse. Vero assisted 233 people in the last year. Entertainment includes music by Joe Guam and DJ Lazea, and a raffle where attendees can also win a round-trip ticket to Manila. For tickets, call 477-5552. And those are your local headlines on The Point.
Thank you, Donna Diaz. We'll be back with traffic and more Ray Gibson Show featuring Charlie Hermosa after these messages.
Half a day. My name is Anthony Chargloff, Mayor of Inalahan. I'm reaching out to all my family and friends to please come out and vote. Help support Tony Ada for Senator. Tony Ada has helped Inalahan. He was a board member of the Menengo Memorial Foundation, and he, along with the other board members, approved and helped build the Inalahan Memorial, in which Inalahan people are always going to be forever grateful. While Tony was in office, he had passed notable bills. Please come out and support Tony Ada for Senator.
I'm Tony Ada, and I approve this message.
On Guam, family is everything. But for many, we're getting sandwiched between caring for our aging parents and for our kids and grandkids. It's a blessing, but for some working families, it's challenging. I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this ad because caring for family shouldn't be impossible. A key priority for me will be working to expand federal support for childcare, fully fund universal pre-K, and increase access to elder care insurance and assisted living. It's great for the economy, but it's also great for families. Paid for by Ginger Cruz for Congress.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by Hofaloa. Check them out in Tumon. They've got shave ice. They've got all these really cool frozen desserts, appetizers, poke bowls, burgers, and other types of sandwiches as well. You can check them out at hofaloa.com or check them out on Instagram. They got a really cool Instagram and Facebook page. It's the place to be, Hofaloa.
All right, it's time to look at this traffic now. Actually, looking at the map real quick, it turned a little red on areas that were just yellow. But I mean, it looks like there's the normal buildup, but in a matter of second, it switched. So it's starting from north. Looks like Anderson looks to the normal traffic. There's a little bit of traffic going into Anderson on the other entrance on the west side there. Coming down on Route 1, the usual traffic a little bit closer as you're getting to Route 3. When you're looking at Route 3 in Uguru, the normal traffic there for the school drop-off areas north and south of Route 3 are. In the normal areas, there's traffic. As you go into Route 1, here by the Kmart, there's a traffic as well build-up. And I don't know if that has a lot to do with the traffic light system, because let me just tell you, I waited a long time to make that left on Kmart. So we got to do something there. So continue to go down south. It looks like everything looks smooth right now going into Big Navy. No other major traffic reports right now. And, yep, that is your traffic for now.
So why are you supporting Ginger?
Because I love Ginger, everything about Ginger, just everything. Well, I think Ginger is very honest and transparent, and that's what really counts.
I support her and I believe in her because she's here with a plan and she's here to bring us change, and that's something the young people are here for.
I know she can take care of us here in Guam.
I trust Miss Ginger to be a new congressman of Guam.
I trust Ginger because I like her platform. We give her the support so she can make it into Congress.
I believe in Ginger because I see that she is very passionate, she's competent, she has empathy, and she knows how to do the job and do it well. And I believe our people deserve better, and that person for Congress is Ginger Cruz.
I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this message, and I humbly ask for your vote.
Hi, I'm Tom Fisher, and I believe in a woman's right to choose. I'm running for a seat in the 38th Guam Legislature, and I will continue to fight to protect those rights.
Attorney Tom Fisher is running for a seat in the 38th Guam Legislature. The fight must continue.
I'm Tom Fisher, and I approve this ad. We are not going back.
Start your day with KFC's $5 breakfast deals. Choose the AM loaded platter, AM chicken rice bowl, or AM sausage, biscuit, and gravy. And now, enjoy a cup of premium Lavazza coffee from Italy with every meal. Head to your favorite KFC for our $5 breakfast deals and enjoy a taste of Italy with every sip. Breakfast is served from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. daily. KFC. Finger-licking good mornings just got better.
Rediscover Talk Radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
All right, and we are back. I do have one quick question, Real Joe. So once November 6th hits, what's going to happen with these commercials? You just got to fill the slots up, or like
they're going to disappear, man.
No, I know, but I'm saying just more time to talk and great news and all that good stuff?
Oh, I'm sure we'll get more people to buy ads, man.
No, absolutely.
That's what we do here.
That's not going to be a problem at all. That's not going to be a problem at all. So now that everybody's had a little bit of coffee, and let's get into a little bit of some local news and what's going on. So, actually, before we get there, a lot of content going on. Dr. Akamoto sent us a link. Apparently. Don't know if we have a picture from Pirates, Jeff. No, okay. So what?
A meme machine's currently down at this time.
Got it. But so Jeff has a half an hour. So and it's a podcast that I actually was listening to the other day, and it's pretty interesting. I mean, again, just these podcasts are what they make. Different perspectives from whatever you want to be able to listen to. But so they had one this weekend, and it was pretty interesting. I think that if anybody hasn't the chance opportunity, we do have the link. We can send it out, or you can click on the Spotify. You'll be able to find the link there as well. So that was one that was really interesting. Dr. Akamoto was there, and obviously making his points, and very direct points as he always does. So it's always good to see that perspective. And Jeff is always very he's adamant. Jeff is very adamant about making seeing change. And the experience that he shares is very enlightful. And I think that it's for me, it was a great. I think it was almost about an hour of a podcast, which is great.
You're always going to find some good gems.
Good stuff. And then the other one that popped up yesterday, I think it was the first one airing, was with Candid. And Troy and Johnny had Walk the Talk. Yes. And
walk the talk or talk the talk or walk the walk?
Oh, walk the talk.
Walk the talk. Yeah, I saw them down in 2-1 yesterday.
I was watching them, and they were like, "Hey, Real Joe," and like you crossed them.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting because they also have I think Eric is filming, and he's on a golf cart, which they have the permit. They have the permit. They have everything's legit,
great,
everything's legal. And then their first guest was Senator Tony Adams.
It's cool getting to know the candidate.
No, absolutely. But I mean, that was a lengthy walk. I mean, that was all the way. I think they started the Hyatt and went all the way up to the PIC and then turned around. I mean, but again, I made a comment saying it's not easy to be able to walk and get formalized some good train of thought as you're walking and you're exercising. But it was a really great discussion, and I believe Troy is going to continue to do that with different candidates leading up to November 5th. So good discussion, good points. I think a lot of the topics that they discussed were topics that are on everybody's mind. So I just wanted to mention that as well. The only thing that I would say is that between veterans with benefits, walk the talk, and then the congressional debate, it all kind of happened at one time. So if anybody knows if anybody knows a way to be able to kind of stream the three things just at the same time, because they're on different platforms. So I was like, you had to switch one to the other, and
that's gnarly, bro.
Yeah. So that was pretty interesting.
Watching all of them at once.
Yeah. So all right, Real Joe. So it looks like we do have a caller.
Landon. From the National Weather Service. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Landon. How are you? Good morning. Thank you so much for calling in.
Absolutely. Great to talk to y'all again this morning.
Absolutely. So before we get into the most important part, which is the tower, let's talk a little bit about weather real quick. So any new developments? I know that we were looking at stronger storms, but it looks like they dissipated. I mean, they kind of got a little bit weaker through the weekend. Any news on that?
Yeah, that 99W that was threatening us last week, that spawned a lot of viral images and social media chatter from some weather apps. Yeah, that tracked up and past us to our northeast over the weekend, and it pulled just far enough away, and it was small enough that we really got little to no effects whatsoever from that disturbance. It did track closer to the CNMI, and so we had to issue out some gale warnings for the eastern waters just offshore of Saipan and as it was tracking northward. It was upgraded to a tropical depression late into the weekend as it was passing near Pagan, Alamagan, and the Agrigan Islands, and was later upgraded yesterday to a tropical storm. I'm looking at the satellite, and this is the most unimpressive tropical storm I think I've ever seen. It's named Tropical Storm 21W, which indicates that the Japan Meteorological Agency has not yet assigned a tropical storm intensity to it, and therefore it's not a named system. So it's just a very ragged system, but it was full of those threats, especially in some of the forecast model scenarios, which is what a lot of the weather apps are showing, and people panic when they see this. And so you have to be careful when you're looking at weather apps on the phone, because those are individual forecast model scenarios, and they can spin up some crazy stuff. For us, that was so up close against some timelines that we would have to take some formal actions. that it did make us a bit uncomfortable because some things you want to gamble with and others you don't. And when we're up against a compressed timeline for a possible tropical event, yeah, you got to take it serious.
No.
But for us, for the week ahead, monsoon. And so we have a lot of showers in the forecast right now. It doesn't look so bad in the Guam area, but more so Rota-Tinian and Saipan. The belt of the showers and thunderstorms seems fixated just to our northwest, but we could be getting some showers starting to surge in from our southwest later today. So keep an umbrella handy and also your rain boots if you're going to be out and about today, because the showers will be coming and going from the southwest.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. But one quick question, and not to get too technical, but now when you said that these storms are not really forming or they're trying to form, what would be the final catalyst for it to really, like, what is it missing that it's not really allowing it to become a full storm?
Yeah, it seems like there's enough dry air in some of the environment around the storms, or some vertical wind shear that's allowing it to not develop vertically. And so we want that wholesome atmospheric environment where there's just weak winds aloft, so that the thing can have its own bubble of an environment to just form not just the surface, but also up into the higher atmosphere. Once you get that vertical stack, you get a much healthier system. And so this has just been part of the struggle this year and also last year, with the exception of Mawar and Balawan as they were coming through the region. But, you know, it's much healthier environment in the Gulf of Mexico right now.
Oh, Jesus.
Unfortunately.
And that's the other question is, so Hurricane Milton, and I think it's reaching or has reached already Category 5 hurricane. And so the one thing that I've been tracking is, you know, the way it formed. And I've always seen those hurricanes form more towards the Atlantic, coming off the Africa Peninsula. And now, but this one forming in the Gulf, to me, I haven't seen one like that. But it looks like it's going to be a direct hit on Florida, unfortunately, again.
That's correct. And so this is right there, just east or just west of the Yucatan Peninsula, and it's all about that steering. And so it's not likely to have a typhoons, for example, strike us from the west, but we're seeing that in the Gulf of Mexico, and it's all about that steering, and it's going to be going right into the west side of Florida. And so the storm motions can change, and they deviate based on the other environmental steering factors. And so we're seeing that. But this thing blew up from a tropical storm to Category 5, and I think in a matter of 24 to 36 hours, which is impressive. I mean, absolutely astounding. And so when I say rapid intensification is my biggest fear as a forecaster, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, in a matter of 36 hours, I mean, how could you, I mean, you can't see that coming and, fast enough. And so, so we hope and pray for Florida for sure. And then, obviously, understanding what happened with those whipping effects with Helene, going up towards the inner side of North Carolina. Hopefully, that's still going on to recovery. And I was trying to follow the track a little bit more because it looks like it's between Wednesday and Thursday where it's going to make landfall, and then it continues up, and then it kind of cuts right through Florida, and then it still has a little bit of a strength, and then it kind of fizzles out more towards like Monday, Tuesday of the next week. But could it have a potential to sort of form back up and head north, like towards the New England area, or?
Fortunately, it looks like it's going to be heading right out into the open Atlantic.
Okay.
And they'll be definitely assessing that, because the last thing they want is a repeat of a Superstorm Sandy, for example. So it looks like the course right now is going to be pushing this thing out into the open Atlantic. But Kirk, currently in the Atlantic, that's going to be tracking up as a hurricane toward Europe. And so they could be dealing with tropical storm force conditions.
Wow.
In the UK. So some exciting stuff over there in the Atlantic, and not necessarily a good exciting.
No, I know. But those phenomena, for the folks that actually study it, like you guys, I mean, that's pretty interesting, right? I mean, all those patterns that are happening, and especially in the development of how fast these storms are developing, I think is pretty interesting. And so,
yeah, we saw that with Mawar after it passed us. We saw it with Mancud after it passed us, and also Hagibis back in 2019 as it was approaching Anatahan, which was a fairly explosive rapid intensification. So it can and does happen in our region.
Well, I mean, we hope and pray that nothing like that happens on our side for now.
I miss the rains down in Anatahan.
Ooh, nice, nice. So Landon, so now more to the more fun stuff that's going on. So how's the tower coming along?
We made up some good time of the last 2.5, 3 days, and we completed the main span of the Taipei 101 at the Ganya Shopping Center. So I was projecting in my paperwork and calculations about 23 feet for the main span, and we clocked in at 23 feet, 0.5 inches. So I'm thrilled.
And so no foreign labor whatsoever?
No foreign labor.
And how come there's no 13th floor?
Well, that's included, but that's on the inside.
Or 17.
But yeah, the tower is complete. We're right up to the skylight almost, and so we have the 5-foot spire assembly that we're going to be starting to prep today. But we're going to do a coordinated effort with the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office to put the spire up, and we may be leaning toward Wednesday morning to do that, and we'll have the Taipei Economic Cultural Office folks over to the Ganya Shopping Center to assist us with that final piece to the tower. Yep. So we're excited to have that done, and yeah, it's just I'm still in shock too. It's just a beautiful tower. I mean, and to see it all assembled nicely.
I know. I mean, the amount of work, I mean, because we were there on Saturday. So, we actually saw the amount where you started and when we left the mall. I mean, you guys made great progress. And thank you so much for allowing us to land on the tower. We were looking at we were actually looking at the footage yesterday. It's amazing. It's amazing. We're going to try to make it real. And then I think that, that's great to hear. And I did see a lot of posting from the social media on a lot of the, just overall, just a great event. And so when do you think, I'm sorry, I missed it. When do you think that you'll be putting the final?
Yeah, we're going to be putting that final span, the spire, and that's going to be about 5 feet of wood beam and blocks on top of the 23-foot tower. We're going to aim for tomorrow morning. I'm trying to reach out to the Taipei office, and we're going to coordinate a time with them to have them all over. And I think it's either going to be this afternoon or tomorrow morning, but I'm hoping tomorrow morning so we have a little bit more time for planning and we can clean up the construction site. But yeah, back to the businesses and organizations. We have so many drop-off sites for canned goods. Learn, Explore, Play, Child Development Center, Senator Dwayne San Nicholas's office, Guam Memorial Hospital, Guam Girl Scouts, Lyndon B. Johnson Elementary School, Flagpole and Aerial Dance Studio, Providence International Christian School, Guam Philharmonic Foundation at the Micronesia Mall, Coast 360, Lit Restaurant in Tumon, Guam Cancer Care, and GNC. They've been huge supporters of this project. Edward and Jenny have come and volunteered a number of hours to help us block some things together.
I mean, and that's amazing. That's amazing, and it all comes together. And then at the end, when will you be collecting all the donations and so forth? And then what do you do? What's the next step after that?
Yeah, definitely the teams, the construction teams that have signed up, and those are Girl Scout Troop 406, Anderson Elementary School, Anderson Middle School, FEMA External Affairs, Guam Philharmonic Foundation, GDOE Support Service and Outreach Teams, Taupo Elementary School, Cost You Less, the big winners last year, One Pacific Clothing and Lit, Providence International Christian School, Bank of Guam, Teton High School, and Anderson Middle School. They'll be bringing their canned goods that they've collected over the last month to the shopping center on Friday, and then it'll be all-day building on Saturday, October 12th. So a lot of fun and activities to come out to the shopping center and root on your favorite team, and then we'll have public voting in person on Sunday. So we want to have as many people from the community on Guam to see the construction, what people have built, and vote for your favorite team, and then prizes will be awarded sometime Sunday afternoon. So stay tuned to the Be Heartfelt and Tower for Humanity Facebook and Instagram pages for that information.
That is amazing. Yeah, please send us any information you have we can put out there. But looking forward to seeing the final part of the tower coming together, and that's going to be amazing. And then obviously the competition. It's always for a great cause. So, Landon, thank you so much. If there are any new developments within our weather here locally, please let us know. Or if there's anything absolutely that happens crazy with Hurricane Milton, please let us know as well. But definitely praying for the folks out there as well. So, Landon, thank you so much as always for calling in, and we look forward to seeing you out there on the final phase of your tower construction.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you and the drones out there again, because that's just some phenomenal camera work y'all have when you're flying around. So
Oh no, absolutely.
We'll y'all over there again.
We'll share it with you. We'll share it with you. And if there's any footage you want to combine with us, we'll definitely make a good heartfelt video for this.
Fantastic.
So, yep. So Landon,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for calling.
You too. Thank you.
All right, and that is Landon. And so again,
what is he gonna do, man? After this? Because I honestly didn't think it was gonna look much like it.
Oh,
because that's a tough shape to make.
But
it looks like it.
It's coming together.
So I don't know how he's gonna top this. I have no idea.
No, and it's
gonna surprise us.
No, absolutely, and they're very methodical as far as again, piece by piece, but they were just going at it on Saturday, just making sure this thing was. It grew. And so. Finally coming together. Final, I guess, hopefully they'll be able to put the final pieces. I think he said either this afternoon or tomorrow, and then clean it up and then have a grand opening of the tower.
Yeah.
And so we're definitely going to plan and to see if we can buzz it and get some stuff going. So here we go. So, all right. Thank you so much. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with the Ray Gibson Show.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
Evacuations in Florida. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, as the state prepares for its second major hurricane in less than 2 weeks.
You should have a plan, and you should be executing your plan, particularly if you're on the west coast of the Florida Peninsula.
Governor Ron DeSantis with states of emergency in 51 counties as Category 5 Milton heads for a possible landfall in the Tampa Bay region Wednesday evening with a storm surge of up to 12 feet, a record forecast for that area. This as multiple states continue recovery from Hurricane Helene, and the White House defends the federal response, warning about misinformation.
Airspace over North Carolina is not closed, and FEMA did not divert funding to migrants. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says.
The fact is, no money is being diverted from response needs. That's the fact. Another falsehood, FEMA confiscating Helene survivor property. That's false. That is not true.
Jean-Pierre says misinformation about the federal response to Helene is dangerous and could discourage Americans from seeking the assistance they need.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House, former President Trump calling it the worst storm response in history in a social media post a short time ago. 1 year after the October 7th Hamas attacks on Israel, 100 of the remaining hostages are still in Gaza, more than 30 of them confirmed dead. And Israel is fighting on multiple fronts.
On this solemn day, I will restate my pledge to always ensure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself.
Vice President Harris and the second gentleman planting a memorial tree on the grounds of the vice president's residence. Earlier, Trump running mate J.D. Vance attending a memorial event.
We believe that the Jewish state has a right to exist, and Donald Trump and I will fight for that every single day when we're in the White House.
The former president will be part of a remembrance this evening in Florida. America is listening to Fox News.
Guam is key to national security, and Ginger Cruz has a plan to make that the key to our economic success.
I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this ad, and I'll fight to bring the ship repair facility back to Guam to create new high-paying jobs. And I'll expand the use of hub zones to help small businesses grow.
Ginger will make Guam America's economic bridge to Asia to bring down costs and raise opportunity. Ginger Cruz is ready to fight for Guam on day one. Paid for by Ginger Cruz for Congress.
Craving delicious dishes with local flavors? Look no further than Mezcla Bistro. From our juicy burgers to flavorful seafood and local fusion, every dish is made with love and the freshest ingredients. Join us for an unforgettable lunch, dinner, or decadent Sunday brunch. Visit us online at mezclaguam.com or call 671-479-2652 or 671-489-2653 to make a reservation. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, a true taste of Guam.
Of grief and protests in New York City.
At the City College of New York, there was vandalism by pro-Palestinian demonstrators throwing red paint and smashing windows, as well as spray painting with graffiti the words "divest now." They want their universities to divest from Israel.
Fox's Brian Yanes as pro-Palestinian groups march in New York City, pro-Israel groups also holding events. Israel, meantime, still trading fire today with Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza. College athletes one step closer to getting paid by schools. A federal judge granting preliminary approval to a more than $2.7 billion settlement, allowing the biggest schools to distribute money from a revenue-sharing plan. A final hearing is set for April. Athletes would still be able to make name, image, and likeness deals with outside groups as well. Cissy Houston has died, the mother of the late Whitney Houston and a Grammy-winning gospel singer.
Houston was a legendary gospel singer who took the stage alongside superstar musicians like Elvis Presley and Aretha Franklin. Houston died Monday in her New Jersey home while under hospice care for Alzheimer's disease. Her daughter-in-law, Pat Houston, said the acclaimed gospel singer was surrounded by her family. She also released a statement in which she called her mother-in-law's contributions to popular music and culture unparalleled. She added, "Mother Cissy has been a strong and towering figure in our lives, a woman of deep faith and conviction who cared greatly about family, ministry, and community." Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Cissy Houston was 91. A down day on Wall Street, the Dow dropping 398 points, falling back under 42K. The S&P also down nearly 1%. The NASDAQ dropped more than 200 points, more than 1%. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
One pill can kill. Fake pills often contain fentanyl. It only takes 2 milligrams of fentanyl, equivalent to a few grains of salt, to be lethal. Fake pills are often sold on social media platforms, making them available to anyone with a smartphone.
Talk early and often to youth about the dangers of misusing prescription drugs and the lethal dangers of counterfeit drugs laced with fentanyl.
Stay informed, stay safe. One pill can kill.
It's no secret that trust in our government has taken a hit due to the influence of the well-connected. We've all seen special interest legislation and sweetheart deals that only benefit companies that have yet to pay their fair share to the government. And instead of being held accountable, they've been rewarded, promising profits from solar farms to fund infrastructure improvements. But history has shown that the sweet scent of corruption only leads to destruction, just like the environmental disaster at Marbo Cave. We must protect and preserve our environment and natural resources. Let's put an end to government corruption once and for all. Vote Joanne Brown for Senator.
Paid for by the committee to elect Joanne Brown for Senator. Eleanor Borja, Treasurer.
At Guam Regional Medical City, world-class heart care is just a heartbeat away. GRMC is pleased to welcome board-certified interventional cardiologist Dr. Mahesh Gola and Dr. Bishoy El Babawi. Together, they specialize in advanced heart interventions to treat heart attacks, various heart and blood vessel conditions, arrhythmia, and more. For more information, visit grmc.gu or contact 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762.
I'm Ginger Cruz, and I grew up in a middle-class family in Dededo. My parents saved for years to buy our home, but today, too many families are locked out of that dream.
Ginger Cruz has a plan to make affordable housing a reality.
I'll fight for flexibility so H2 Labor can build homes outside the fence.
She'll focus on tax credit programs to boost development and get Guam its share of national money to help first-time home buyers.
I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this ad, and I'm ready to fight for Guam on day one.
Paid for by Ginger Cruz for Congress.
Raise a glass to WineFest 2024 at the Hyatt Regency Guam. Join us Friday, October 11 for an unforgettable evening of exquisite food and world-class wines as the Hyatt Regency's Grand Ballroom transforms into an international vineyard. Explore a vast selection of fine wines perfectly paired with gourmet dishes designed to delight your sophisticated palate. General admission tickets are $150 and can be purchased at the Hyatt Deli or online at www.tpiguam.com. Platinum tickets priced at $250 are available exclusively at the Hyatt Deli. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Guests must be 21 years or older to attend. Celebrate WineFest 2024 and indulge in a global tasting experience like no other.
Your 7 o'clock local news is brought to you by AB Risk Solutions.
Half a day at 7:08. I'm Donna DeJesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. Dr. Tom Shea has denied rumors that he's resigning from GMH, clarifying that a recent social media post was misinterpreted. Dr. Shea, a board-certified OBGYN, explained that while he has stopped accepting new pregnant patients, he will continue to care for his established patients. After serving Guam for over 28 years, he says he's shifting focus to balance work with family time. He expressed frustration with recruitment and retention challenges for OBGYNs on the island, pointing to systemic issues. He also urged the community to appreciate its medical professionals while they are still practicing. Meanwhile, the U.S. Government Accountability Office will conduct a study to evaluate the feasibility of federalizing Guam's Customs and Quarantine Agency. The study, requested by Congressman Jim Moylan, aims to determine if federal support could enhance border protection and control over illegal drugs and invasive species. Moylan says the study will take about 12 months, with results expected in the fall of 2025. Some local concerns focus on losing agency control and potential cost increases as U.S. customs fees differ from Guam's. Ginger Cruz, Moylan's Democratic opponent, emphasized retaining local expertise and questioned how federalization could affect customs officers' employment. More news after this.
Boss, I got run over by a forklift.
Boss, I crashed a company truck.
What do we do? Our warehouse and inventory are gone.
Hi, this is Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and it's time for Risk 101. Everything you just heard are examples of risk your businesses can face. Our job is to ask the hard what-if questions and teach you how to reduce your exposures and help you recover if things go sideways. We've got decades of experience in Micronesia working with businesses big and small. Call AB Risk Solutions today at 777-2668 for a free inspection and quote.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
Southern High School students are returning to campus today after the school passed a health inspection with a C rating. Southern had been closed since August due to health and safety concerns. A previous inspection resulted in a failing D grade. GDOE and the governor's SORT worked together to resolve issues. Acting Governor Josh Tenorio called the reopening a milestone after significant repairs, including draining the school's neglected Olympic-sized pool. GDOE emphasized the need for ongoing maintenance. Chief Brody Elementary also passed its inspection, and the return date for students is expected soon. And Arahan Middle School awaits its inspection results. And voters are assessing key issues like the economy, education, medical care, and public safety. Both major parties acknowledged these priorities as they campaign. The Democratic Party, currently holding the majority, aims to maintain control, citing successful policies like power credits and funding for public safety. The Republican Party believes excitement around their candidates will secure a majority. Both parties are also focused on the upcoming congressional race, with Congressman Jim Moylan seeking re-election. And those are your top stories. Back to Charlie Hermosa with weather.
Okay, with the weather, today, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm. Some of the storms could produce heavy rainfall, mostly cloudy with a high near 86, southwest winds 9 to 14 miles per hour. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 78. West-southwest winds 7 to 11 miles per hour. Wednesday, tomorrow, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm, mostly cloudy with a high near 86. Southwest winds 9 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 22 miles per hour. Wednesday night, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm, cloudy with a low around 78. West-southwest winds 8 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 21 miles per hour. Thursday, showers likely, cloudy with a high near 86. Thursday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 78. The heat index is 96 degrees, 60% chance of rain. Rip current and surf hazards are in effect. Sunrise was at 6:11 a.m. Sunset will be at 6:06 p.m. And that is your weather.
Now available at GTA. iPhone 16. Hello, Apple
Intelligence. iPhone 16 now features Apple Intelligence, the personal intelligence system that helps you write, express yourself, and get things done effortlessly. For a limited time, when you purchase iPhone 16, get a free $300 Visa gift card and a power accessories bundle with any new unlimited wireless plan on device installment. That's a value of $450. Terms and conditions apply. Visit gta.net for more information. GTA, we start with you.
See Nissan Guam first. With affordable options like the stylish Nissan Versa sedan and the street-savvy Kicks crossover, you'll love the wallet-friendly fuel efficiency and the smart versatility. Available Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration makes sure you're always connected. With easy financing and low monthly payments, we make it easy to drive away in the perfect Nissan for you. Ask about our exclusive first-time buyers program. Stop by for a test drive and get pre-qualified for financing at nissanguam.com today.
Trick or treat, you're so sweet. Give me something good to eat.
It's back. Celebrating your Halloween with Whopper Wednesday. Every Wednesday in October, visit any Burger King restaurant and say, I love, love, love the Whopper. And get a free flame-grilled Whopper sandwich with the purchase of any large Whopper combo meal. Top off your meal with French fries or halvesies and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Call your mommy. Goblins and zombies and get your Whopper Wednesday treat. Happy Halloween from your friends at Burger King. You rule.
Get ready for the ultimate showdown. On October 11th at Dusitani, it's time to brawl. Grab your tickets at Coffee Slut, go VIP for $150 with dinner included, or get into the action with standing room only for $75. Brawl, where the fiercest fighters meet. Visit Coffee Slut from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. for tickets now.
Ray Gibson Show featuring Charlie Hermosa is brought to you by Guam Regional Medical City. They are your healthcare partners and American President Lines, a global presence with a local home.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
All right. So, it's actually it's good and bad news, right? I mean, at least Southern High School is back to being open with a C grading, right? With a C, right? C.
They're okay to open.
They're okay. They're okay. Just open. But at least but there was a lot of work that went into it, right? I mean, I think that the efforts across the board from different agencies supporting the
no doubt
trying to get all these schools.
Man.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, if you look at some of the pictures, they were pretty
backbreaking work, dude.
I mean,
for sure,
morning, afternoons, and they were definitely out there changing out toilets. I mean, thank you for all the everybody who participated in getting the Southern High to get back open. But again, we're going to leave that aside because it should not have gotten to that point. It shouldn't, and that's one of the discussion points on another part where a lot of the discussion points right now is, why are we allowing this to happen to get to that point? Why?
And will it be like this again?
It's going. I mean, it's
Are
going to happen.
Are we setting ourselves up for another failure?
As a C, just think about all the other schools that need renovating right now as far as the maintenance. So a lot of schools that I mean, a lot of teachers are saying, hey, listen, we need help right now. I mean, even going into the middle of the year, there's some schools that are starting to break down. So how does that whole process work? And then, again, we've had the discussion. We need to ensure that we have a plan in place. So, we do need a maintenance czar to be able to put this into making sure that the punch list for every school is being taken care of. But, it's going to be, we can't just get to that line and kind of cross it, and then it's going to happen again and again and again. So, but just want to say thank you for everybody who's participated in getting Southern High back open. So, for the students primarily and the families as well. So, and then, the other aspect, the senators have been very busy, the last couple of days in sessions. And, the one item I really wanted to touch on was the GICC. So I'm glad that they were able to put that bill to the side when I was converting the golf course into a solar farm, because there's more information that's coming out. And just to be transparent, I did go in front of the Derecho Council to share my sort of what I thought about converting the golf course into solar. And for me, let's if we're not going to keep it as a golf course, let's look at doing something else with the golf course other than converting it into a solar farm for what it's worth. Because once you start putting the infrastructure in place, the panels, that's it. That ground is completely lost. So in my mind, we can definitely do other things with that land. And so other ideas that, we've shared, and hopefully, we'll be able to look at that. So I'm glad they were. I think there's a lot more information that we need to look at before any of the senators are able to make a final decision on voting on whether to convert that to a sort of a solar farm. And so there's more information that's coming out. So I'm glad that they're actually putting it to the side and taking a look. And in the same, Senator Kanata was also putting it to the side. Some funding for Simon Sanchez, right? So, and that is a good way to look at it, because if we look at it from a fiscally, being responsible for being able to allocate funds, and that this is not going to happen where FEMA hasn't approved the 90% funding, then why are we putting it on the agenda? Why are we putting it on the radar? So, they pulled that one back as well. But I do want to mention something about Simon Sanchez, and I want to make a plug for this because I found this out this weekend. The film students at Simon Sanchez they've produced a movie that's actually playing in the Micronesia Mall. I don't know if anybody has heard about this movie.
What?
Yes.
What kind of movie?
It's a full-on movie.
And action, drama? What?
I've heard both.
Okay.
It's action, drama, and Is
there any comedy in there? Romance?
I don't know if there's any romance. I don't know how much romance would come in.
Out, man.
Yeah. So the movie's called Forget Me Not.
Okay.
And so I'm actually going to check it out.
Heartbreaking.
right from the get-go,
I'm gonna bring
right?
my Kleenex.
So, from what I understand, and if you look at the synopsis of the movie, it's really telling, right? I mean, there's a lot of they deal with suicide prevention, mental health, bullying, the stuff that are impacting us at the school level. So, I think somebody who's actually was in the movie, I was talking to one of the teachers this weekend, and he was telling me about the movie, and I was like, I did not hear about this. So I'm gonna go check it out. I need to make a plug for the movie. If you have not seen it, I had not seen it, so I can't really say. But I've heard
it at the Micronesia Mall.
At the Micronesia Mall.
Okay,
right?
There you go.
For Forget Me Not.
I'm gonna sit in the double seat, the love seat.
Made, produced, everything by students from Simon.
That's
Sanchez.
cool.
So
I'd love to check that out.
If you can go check it out, please do so. Please do so. And going into talking about a little bit more of what's been going on in the island. Obviously we had our first congressional debate yesterday. So
did you catch it?
I did. In between getting off Veterans with Benefits, saying hello to them, and then catching
we got someone
Candid
here
with
that actually caught it, man.
So KUAM did a great job. They did a phenomenal job putting it together, and so obviously it's one of the first of many debates that they will have. I know that we're actually putting one. It's not so much a debate, but more of a forum for the veterans for the congressional side, and that's going to be next week on Monday, October 14th, at the Micronesia Mall as well, where the old GameStop used to be. And so if you have time to go out there, all veterans, please, we urge you to go out there and really listen to the candidates, all the issues, and so forth. And with that, good morning, Jerry. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you again.
So what was the highlight of the debate yesterday?
Well, there was a lot of, the two things that I wanted to share was I've never seen both candidates so close together. That was one. I just kind of caught me off guard how they were super close. They usually have them separated by, so when you're looking at whoever's speaking, you don't really see their face gestures until they pan over to the other side, but you could actually see both, both candidates debating. I thought some of the questions at the end were a little bit lengthy. I think that kind of put the candidates a little bit into a position that they had to answer very quickly on. But the questions that were shared by the audience were just a little bit lengthy. And so, for example, Ginger said, hey, listen, it's a lengthy question. Check out my platform. A lot of it is there, but I do want to touch on this. And so... And so, so just a little bit of feedback on what I thought from the aesthetics of the debate. But I think it was a good opportunity to see both candidates really going at it. I mean, there was not too many. I mean, there were a few questions that they both agreed on. But for the most part, they were all opposite. They were taking different approaches on things from, customs, how to, manage customs, to the rising costs, inflation, and all that good stuff.
You mean it was party, like down the line, party platform stuff? This person, they didn't cross over very often?
I did not see too much of that.
Was it as civil as the Vance and Walz debate?
I thought it was well. I mean, I think both candidates were very well, not, I don't say well-mannered. I'm saying, very well-behaved in the sense of, being able to go after. But I think that both candidates touched on the rebuttals were really good because they were able to have an opportunity to come back with what the other person or the other candidate said. So I thought it was a good start. Good. I think it was a good start, and I think we have more to come. And
one down and 74 to go, or something like that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Jerry, take it away.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, it's the Extra Point brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank with the esteemed Jerry.
Oh boy, that's a bunch to live up to. Thank you. Every employer is in the same boat if they want to ensure that they'll be able to continue their operations into the future. They need talent to step up and assume larger responsibilities. It's called succession. As people move up, the jobs they vacate come open. Yesterday, we began a conversation about promoting talent to the front line of supervisor and the fact that almost everybody gets it wrong on a massive scale. Well, we're going to look today at what can be done to improve your odds on making the right choices. That's next on The Extra Point.
New benefits are taking flight. Instead of 2 times miles, the United credit card from First Hawaiian Bank is now introducing 3 times miles on every dollar spent on United tickets purchased through United ticketing channels. Apply by August 31st, 2024, and if approved, you can earn 35,000 miles when you spend $1,500 within the first 3 months. Get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United credit card. It all starts with yes. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit a First Hawaiian branch or go to fhb.com/United.
At APL, their expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing their efforts in giving back to the community. APL's dedicated team in Guam and the U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
The Gallup organization, the largest workplace polling company on the planet, says the skills people are promoted for rarely are the skills they need to manage well. Gallup also points out that talent for managing is pretty rare, and only about 1 in 10 people possess the talent to supervise other human beings. Further, they claim that companies fail to choose the candidate with the right talent for the job 82% of the time. 82% they fail in that regard. To make matters worse, too many employers don't train managers at all, train them rarely, or train them poorly. When you total it all up, the person selected to be the new supervisor almost has no chance to succeed. As a result, workers don't get the support they need to do well, and teams don't come close to reaching their potential. Frustration sets in, mistrust develops. It's not a pretty picture. That being said, there is a better way to deal with all of this and to create a different reality. The following are things that you can do. Number 1, organizations need to know the skill levels and potential management interest in their frontline workers. And I'm going to toss an idea into the mix that is rarely mentioned. You cannot rely solely upon the reports from your first-level supervisors. If you're a middle manager and your direct reports are first-level supervisors, you want to be familiar with the people that they supervise. You must understand their level of talent and whether or not they have any interest in moving up. Don't wait for your supervisors to fill you in on their workers. They're busy, or they may be worried, well, golly, if I give a glowing report about Joe or Mary, maybe Joe or Mary are going to wind up with my job. So don't look for that. It may not come to you. Number 2, have a personalized growth plan for every worker on your payroll. I'm not saying you need to spend a ton of money on every single employee. When the plan is geared to me, my needs and my interests in growing, be that a little or be that a lot, it says you're interested in me. If you do, I'll probably be more interested in my job and the organization. Not exactly rocket science, is it? Number 3, train managers frequently. And when you do, make the training count. If the goal is to use impersonal online systems or to handle the training in-house because you think you can save money, one of the oldest sayings does apply here. You get what you pay for. If your training isn't transformational in nature, it's not worth your time or your money. Number 4, every worker should be asked straight away if they have any interest in being a manager. Would you be surprised to learn that a huge percentage of workers never get this question? Maybe their supervisory boss is afraid to ask it, as we mentioned, or doesn't think it's their responsibility to ask it. This is another reason why the manager at the next level up has to be involved. Item number 5, challenge workers who indicate an interest to move up. Give them a small side project or a task. Toss a sample problem their way to see how they react and to observe their thought process. This isn't a major test with their future on the line. This is simply to give you an idea of who and what you're dealing with. If they fall short, expose them to some training that can help. If they impress you, well, then do it again, and then schedule them for that training. None of this has to be painful. By using a simple system like the one I've outlined, you can develop a more successful mechanism to build talent in your organization and to make sure that you get it right more often than not. That's the Extra Point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3 FM, The Ray Gibson Show with Charlie Hermosa, and for First Hawaiian Bank, I'm Jerry Roberts.
Jerry, thank you so much. One quick question.
Yes, sir.
Have you been able, and when we talk about talent, one of the things that we're facing right now is retention, right? I mean, across the board.
That's the name of the game.
When we look at the government, have you been able to work with any programs with any local agencies? Like, because one of the things that popped up, one of the discussion points yesterday at the debate, and also one of the something that the congressman put out was in regards to the study that's going to be done for customs, whether it should be federalized. But when you talk to customs, one of the biggest issues that they have is retention. So they train them, they get the talent, and then, they get hired by bigger and better agencies, whether it's, TSA or, federal customs off island.
Well, the strange thing about it, Guam is very unique in this respect. The private sector worries that Gov Guam is going to poach their people. And Gov Guam worries that the feds are going to poach their people. So, I mean, it's just, it's this, I guess, you're worried about the larger fish swimming into your waters, right?
Right.
To grab people off. I had an opportunity to train the people at Customs many, many years ago because an insightful and man who cared about people was in charge of Customs at the time, the late Bob Camacho, and just a wonderful guy. He believed wholeheartedly in training. And I went to see him a few times, and he kind of explained to me his philosophy on it, what he was looking for. I think we were able to make some inroads. And this was a time when Customs was under fire because you had some, I don't know what you call them, cowboys down there on the receiving line. I mean, they were rough and they were rude with passengers coming in. They went through a period of time. I think they rooted some of those people out. And not everybody, certainly. I mean, you had some really good people on the Customs line, but they were going through a tough time, and Bob wanted to change that. So I'm not going to take any credit for anything with respect to that. I was able to train them a little bit here and there, and I met some really good people. I think they really wanted to do a good job, and I think sure that Bob, in his tenure there, he did well. I've no doubt. Bob was the kind of guy that every governor, I think he worked both sides of the aisle pretty much.
Right.
I mean, they wanted him. He wound up at the airport police for a while. I'm trying to think what else. I know he had something else to do with the airport, and then he wound up at just before I think he passed. He was with DOC.
Oh wow!
Trying to do some transitionary work there. He was the kind of guy that could walk in. Everybody loved him, right? And they listened. Right, to what he wanted to do, and he had great ideas.
No, and I think that, I mean, to your point, I think that if you take sort of that approach to be able to care about the people, but not, I mean, because when you go into survival mode, I mean, like similar to what's going on with DOC, right? I mean, they're trying to do everything they can to be able to improve their process, that nobody, escaping, but it takes a lot of you have to start with the people. You have to train and create that culture, right? To be able to, sustain the processes that you're putting in place, because if not, then a lot of that stuff and things completely change, right? Things change, throughout how people do work, and I think that's one of the things that were in the back of my mind. I mean, are we good? Are we doing a good enough job to be able to train our agencies to be able? Because we have a lot of folks that we're hiring, right? I mean, there's turnover, people are retiring. Institutional knowledge goes away, and there's a new
massive issue.
Yes, and so I was just thinking about that. I think that training it has to be an aspect of being able to change culture, because as you're changing people, there's a new mindset that comes in. Leaders change as well, directions change, but the focus and the process shouldn't change, because the job doesn't change, right? I mean, when it comes to DOC and when it comes to customs, but. Just a question I had. I think that's very important. I think that we need it now more than ever, especially with everything that's going on.
Yeah, I totally agree. We've offered our services to the government for years, and most of they just don't do it. I mean, there's a few people that do in the government. There's a few people that will. I don't know how they get away with it, because it seems to be like an embargo on local training. But there are a few people that show up, for that training. But the large agencies, relatively little.
Wow, interesting. Hopefully we can change that.
They have to. Well, first of all, they have to budget for it.
Right.
And then the people who run the agencies have to understand their situation, and just what you're talking about. That if you want to have the right people in place, when the people with that institutional knowledge step away, it takes time.
Right.
It takes planning. Right, you can't just say, okay, Joe with 30 years just stepped away. Hey, you got 3 years, jump in.
Right, exactly.
Right? I mean, that's not going to work. There's going to be problems.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you take succession seriously, and then you apply the right principles to it, and you plan, and you grow somebody over a period of time, well, then when that transition takes place, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Or you won't be surprised. You'll be happy that you took the time to plan properly for it and prepare somebody.
No, absolutely. And I think the succession plan is it's the key. I think that for the folks that have been involved in that type of operation, for me, I used to always tell my folks that I'm trying to find the right person so that I can take vacation, right? I mean, just so that I can do what I need to do and be able to do that. So, but Jerry, thank you so much. Always great points. Always great seeing you, and I'll be sending you that information that we were just talking about.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, and with that.
Let's go to news headlines.
We will head over to news with Donna D.
Donna D, brought to you by Burger King. Check them out. It's a Whopper Wednesday this month. That's happening tomorrow. So go to the drive-thru and do that. I love the Whopper. Also brought to you by Pika's Best, Hoffaday Realty, with Jody Saran, Libby, Auntie Lolita, and their team of professionals for all your real estate needs. Check them out at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com, or give them a call at 588-4322. Now with your headline news, it's Donna D.
GWA will have a scheduled water outage in parts of Dededo today from 9 to 5 for leak repairs. Areas affected include Las Palmas Phase 3 area and nearby regions. Residents should prepare for the service interruption. For more information, contact GWA's 24/7 phone line at 646-4211 or email alerts@guamwaterworks.org. And GPA is marking Public Power Week this week with a toy and canned food drive for the Salvation Army and Alley Shelter. The community is encouraged to join these efforts by dropping off donations at GPA customer service locations in Fidian, Hagåtña, and Upper Tuman through the 18th. GPA also supports Special Olympics Guam's softball jamboree on the 19th. And the Philippines is becoming a popular medical tourism destination for Guam and Micronesia, filling local healthcare gaps. Guam is classified as medically underserved, prompting residents to seek affordable, high-quality care in the Philippines. The medical city recently welcomed a delegation from Guam to showcase its facilities and services to boost medical tourism. And those were your local headlines on The Point.
Thank you, Don. It's 7:36. That's Beyond the Box time. Check them out in the Micronesia Mall first floor for all your audio and digital needs and all your greatest and newest Apple products.
I'm Rachel, mother of 4. Babies born on Guam are more likely to die in the first year than anywhere else in the nation.
I'm Tom Fisher. We have to turn that statistic around, and I've introduced a bill in the Guam legislature to do just that. We have to save the next generation of Guamanians.
Vote for Attorney Thomas Fisher. The fight must continue.
I'm Tom Fisher, and I approve this ad. We are not going back.
Wendy's has brought back the 2 for $4 breakfast deal. Mix and match to satisfy your morning cravings. Choose 2 from the sausage biscuit or sausage and cheese English muffin, small seasoned potatoes, and medium hot coffee. That's right, pick 2 for just $4. Head on over today for the Wendy's 2 for $4 breakfast deal. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's.
Senator Will Parkinson knows that your home is your castle. That's why he fought to expand the Castle Doctrine, empowering you to protect your family, your property, and your rights. With Senator Parkinson in the legislature, your right to defend what's yours is stronger than ever. Senator Parkinson stands for your Second Amendment rights and your right to protect your home. Strong, decisive, and committed to your safety. Let's re-elect Senator Will Parkinson.
I'm Will Parkinson, and I approve this message.
This time check is brought to you by Ginger Cruz for Congress. Now more than ever, Guam needs strength, experience, and intelligence in Congress. It's time for a leader. Vote Ginger Cruz.
Paid for by Ginger Cruz for Congress.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by Nissan Guam. They've got Versas starting as low as $143. Sentras as low as $161 per paycheck. Kicks as low as $164 per paycheck. And that tough Frontier starting as low as $239. Stop by Nissan in Upper Tumon or check them out at nissanguam.com.
All right, so we are looking at traffic again. We're going to start off, and somebody made a comment last week, Real Joe, and I'll try to be careful because when I was looking at on my map on the phone, I went from north down to Big Navy, back to Tomb. Like I was like,
you're all over the place, man.
I was all over
Just
the place.
Pretend you're driving, and the Brigadier General is riding with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, start up there at Anderson.
There you go. There you go. So, yeah, let's go ahead and start north in Gigo. It looks like there's a little bit of traffic going into the entrance of Anderson right now. Typical to this hour. As you're coming down, looks like there's a little bit of traffic as well on the Dededo side coming into Route 16 and then going across the normal traffic there and the intersection of Route 3 north-south of Ukuru. Looks like it's same traffic on that same area coming down. And as you keep driving down south on Route 1, looks like there's traffic here, a little bit of traffic here on the Kmart side. But besides that, looking down south to Big Navy, no major reports. A little bit of in Agania, there's a little bit of traffic. Actually, look at that. I went back from Big Navy and back. So
it's the cops.
So if you're
slow
listening,
down,
if you're listening to the if you're listening to traffic report, I do apologize. But I'm trying to find all the red spots to be able to identify. But there is a little bit of traffic there in Agania, so just be careful driving down. And then the normal traffic going into Big Navy. So, and that is your traffic report.
Every year we face the same problems because we choose people that are nice rather than voting for leaders who are proven and offer solutions. Some of those nice senators have introduced bills that don't make us any safer or improve our quality of life. I'm Sabrina Salas-Matanani, and I'm not running for senator to be nice. I'm running to be effective and provide solutions for you.
I'm Sabrina Salas-Matanani, and I approve this message.
Connect and save with Docomo Pacific's unbeatable business mobile plans. Save up to $720 with unlimited talk, text, and data on the island's widest mobile network. Supercharge your connectivity with our data-to-go roaming and Wi-Fi hotspot services. Connect today and experience lightning-fast speeds that keep your business running smoothly. Discover more at business.docomopacific.com. Some conditions apply.
Inafamaulig za respetu i mas 3 kilo gitanota. Irin ang kolonya si Ginger Cruz gi sa Guahan, agof toptuk ezusia na hinengi. Mapoksay gwizan hami, o maskwela gwizan hami, matoto gwizan hami. Sinceros and magahid i kurasonya, sa sentarong i gunaizanya parigislota. Sinya hat ti pareo i hagata, lo pareo i spirituta. Bota si Ginger Cruz para Kongresu. Guaha pronunya za ti paru na lati italanta.
I'm Ginger Cruz, and I approve this message.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by Hofaloa. Check them out in Tumon. They've got ice keki. That's popsicles, in case you didn't know. They got it by the case. They also have these Breeze vanilla soft serve with fruit juice. And a bunch of different flavors as well. Smoothies, soda pops, soft serve ice cream. It's the Dole Pineapple Soft for me. They've got acai dragon fruit and much more. Burgers, sandwiches, and food plates as well. Check them out on Instagram and all the social media sites, but you can stop by hoffaloa.com for more information.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
All right, and just wanted to say good morning and hello to Jigo Jarhead. Thank you so much for listening. A few other folks that have come on. Andrew, Marvin, good morning. Thank you so much.
Morning, Marvin.
Yes, they're out and about as well. So hopefully we'll touch on a little bit of the. There was a KUAM poll that came out, which had some numbers that were very significant.
Who's in this poll? What's this poll regarding?
Well, the senators, they also had who would you vote for president? The congressional side, all that stuff. So, Dave, good morning. Dave Duenas. Shelly, good morning. Let's see. Armelin. Different folks here. I pressed the wrong button again on this thing. So
that
it kind of gets me off. Let me get back on track here.
Okay, man.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it. I'm getting better.
This is only kind of like the military.
No, but so going back a little bit to what Jerry was talking about, what did I think about the congressional debate? So one of, I think, 1, 2, 3, I think candidates also going to have one on October 21st. I'll confirm the time, but I know they're going to have one at the Ducet. So that should be interesting as well. So I think, we have the veterans forum that's coming up on the flyer officially went out yesterday. So October 14th at the Micronesia Mall, the old GameStop, should be able to get all the veterans out there, just come out and support. We'll have both candidates there and, talk about all things veteran related. So that should be a good outcome. And then the following week, there's another one. And then I'm sure there's plenty of more from that point on to November 5th. So, but going back a little bit to the debate, one of the questions that came up in one of the press releases actually that Congressman Jim Moylan just put out was in regards to that GAO to study feasibility on federalizing Guam Customs Agency. That was a topic of discussion at the debate yesterday. And then obviously Ginger was, being, one of the things she highlighted was the fact that, we need to be careful on that. And Congressman Moylan came back and said, listen, this is just a study. And I think that's exactly what he said. So, but there is a press release by the congressman's office, but I just saw it come through the wire that Ginger has also put out her own press release in light of what was in the news today regarding that study. So I have not had the opportunity to read through both, but I think again, being able to look at the study. We do have to look at it from both angles, and I think that on understanding the highlighted points that Ginger made and understanding the congressman's points, there's something there that we need to make sure that we're approaching it in the right direction. So hopefully we'll be able to kind of share those points and see exactly where that's where we're heading with that report if it does go through. So, but besides that, a lot of good points. I think it was a great start for both candidates, and I think that they made their point on where they stand on certain issues. It was good to see that. It's always good to see the different platforms, not agreeing with each other. I think they both have different views about how getting getting things done with the economy, with customs. The only thing that I thought was a little bit too lengthy was the fact that some of the questions that were asked towards the end of the debate I bet were just a bit lengthy. And so, I mean, I think if you're standing up there trying to hit on those key points or answering the questions, because one of the things that I think we look for is the fact that if you get asked a question, on the economy, on customs, how are we, on education, on healthcare, how are we answering? And so for the candidates, I want to make sure that they have the opportunity to be able to actually put their thoughts forward and answer the questions and, not sort of kind of go around about it. And, I think both candidates did a good job. And I think, again, good start. Next one is the veteran side, and we'll definitely look into that. And I think if you look at, there were some veterans. I mean, the veteran issues are very keen to me as well. I actually was trying to pay attention, and there was a question from the audience regarding, how do we systematically, how do we look at the numbers from what the federal VA is looking at?
Is that a big group? Is that a big voting group, Charlie? The veterans?
Huge.
Okay.
And that's one of the things
that
we've been trying to work on that because, so in
it's always the issue, though, man.
From the numbers perspective, we've been saying that we have about 24,000 veterans here on Guam, and so when you look at the activity and all the different organizations that we have, when we put them all together, that is a very sizable group. I mean, based on the number of voters that we have right now on record that are actually going out to physically vote, and so. Okay, it looks like we do have
we got Peter Santos.
Peter Santos.
Real quick. Speak fast, Peter.
Yes.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Peter. How are you?
Great. I watched the debate last night. I liked the format where they didn't give the candidates the questions ahead of time because it then shows what they are actually thinking and how well they can respond and how well they actually or how much they actually excuse me, there's a frog in my throat. How well they actually have a command and understanding of the issues. But it also showed me whether or not they were actually responsive to the question. I feel like Jim was a little short on both his responding to the rather than deflecting or talking about something not really that answers the call of the question, and then also his depth of knowledge was a little shallow. That's my observation, but I also like the fact that they didn't allow opening statements because opening statements are just really rhetoric, right?
No, absolutely, and I think that's exactly So I think one of the things that when you looked at the Congressman Moreland and the way that he was answering a lot of the questions, he was trying to put his experience for the last 2 years, and I think that's, I mean, again, from where I was trying to look at it from the different angles that he was answering the questions, he was trying to put the experience that he was answering the questions in a way that he was sharing that information. So Ginger has a lot of information as well, and to me the one thing that I didn't really see very efficient was the long lengthy questions that they had at the end. So maybe
yeah, they kept running up against the buzzer.
Okay. So Peter,
so maybe they give them a little longer to answer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the format maybe separated them a little bit more as well. I had a little thing. They were pretty close. I mean, I haven't seen any debates like that. So, but Peter, we got to run real quick. If you can, please call back. And always love to hear your comments. So, but thank you so much for giving us a call. Okay.
Good morning, Congressman.
Hey, good morning. Half the day.
Good morning, Congressman. How are you?
Oh, actually, it's a nice breezy morning. I like today. Yeah, enjoy it. Yeah, but and of course I'm still waking up, but it had a good night's sleep, which I really appreciate too.
No, absolutely. So the first debate is done and over with. What did you think? How did you feel?
Oh, just getting to know it. That's fine, answering the questions too. So it all went fine. You know, at the end, I figured I was talking with Nick rather, and I said, 90 minutes is quite long standing on your feet side by side. And I said, can you guys get together? Is there a way you can shorten this? And then he thought about it, and he said, all right, next time it will be 89 minutes. Gee whiz, thanks for the consideration.
Oh.
And I understand, right? We have to put things out there. There's a lot of questions. Looks like our calendars are filled with several more debates. And maybe this is something overall we can look at as a community where we can come together and just have a couple of big debates where everybody can just come on in and give their questions, and then we take whoever the candidates are and take it from there. Otherwise, our whole week before the elections will just be debate after debate after debate. So,
absolutely, and we took that into consideration, especially for the Veterans Forum, because one of the things that we actually from the veterans perspective is we want to hear what the different what we want to hear from the candidates and actually listen to see what can be done on in DC, right, where all the magic happens. So it's not going to be a debate at all. We basically want to hear from both of you. So so hopefully that's a little bit more in tune with being able to share everything that you've done for the veterans in the last 2 years and everything that you're working for in your next reelection if once you get elected.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, and as a veteran myself, started as enlisted, wrapped it up as an officer. It's important to me. And just if I can quickly share, that's my first bill that passed the House, and it's wonderful. And it was about for the veterans, Delivers the Veterans Vehicles Act. So basically, there's a grant there that can give adaptive measures on a vehicle for veterans with disability. But the problem is with that grant, that's helpful for getting the vehicle. But how do you get the vehicle to rural areas? It could be quite expensive, whether in the Conus or if you live in Alaska, how do you get that vehicle over there? You live in Hawaii, likewise, and especially if you live in Guam. It's going to cost you about $4,000 to get a vehicle, adaptive vehicle for the vet's disability so they can drive and get to their place. So now we have the grant apply to the shipping as well. And that's really good, and it's helpful because throughout the nation, it's just not Guam, but everybody else, and that's where the companionship that I'm working with and the understanding I'm working with my colleagues made that bill pass the House, next to the Senate, then on to the President for signature. And there's more stuff we can do with the resolution that happened, and we were able to add on an agreement between the Department of Defense and the Department of Veterans Affairs, which was to expire this year, but we extended it, that could apply to Guam, and we included a study to determine between DOD, active folks, and retirees agencies, DDA, to come together by using DOD land and Veterans Affairs interests to combine the facility, and we're looking at a medical center for Guam, to put that study together, and that's what we need in Congress so we can fund it. So that's another important thing. It's not going to happen overnight, and that's why it's important to have Congress be, from a freshman to a sophomore to a junior to a senior to make things happen, and that could be how long it would take. But there's more things in the pipeline. At the same time, Charlie, I'm still working, and the reason I wanted to call is about a study that we're doing to CQA.
Yes.
So if you don't mind, we can pivot to that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks. So, we, of course, orders are we got illegals coming on in. We don't know how many of them are the People's Republic of China. And we have drug issues still coming on in through our borders. Some say it's all through the post office, but that may not necessarily be the case. We know we had this stuff washed up on the shores down south. We know we have it, but we used to have a lot of container inspections. We found stuff in containers too. So what we want to do, and it's a long-standing issue, is, should we federalize our Guam's Customs and Quarantine Agency? It's been a long question that we have with that. So the right way to look at this is to do a study with the CQA. And that study is going to look at the pros and cons to determine if that's the right thing to do. And of course, the pros will be that there's more resources, there's more pay for our officers, we can get the stuff that they need in order to do this. And they have more authority, too. There's a lot of federal requirements that the Guam's Customs is having to do without getting to pay for it. So we need to protect our borders. We need to stop our drugs. We have to watch out for the People's Republic of China coming on in, and we need to fund. So this is just a study to determine if that's the right thing to do. The studies will come out with the pros and cons. Then we look at it. I'm not saying I'm 100% behind this or not, but it's just data that we can use to make a better decision. It will go to the governor. All in all, at the end, it's up to the Guam legislature. It's up to the governor and how we proceed.
Right.
It may not be worth it, but it may be worth it as well. We determine that at a later point.
And that's one of the points that you made yesterday, that it is a study. So whether you're going to agree with the points, you were not there yet. But one of the things when you talk to CQA, when you talk to Customs, one of the biggest issues that's always brought up, I mean, obviously protecting our borders is number one. So whatever we need to do to look at to be able to protect our borders, we need to make sure that we analyze it. But the other issue that I've heard from discussions I've had with Customs is the retention of our officers, right? I mean, they go through extensive training through the Customs program, and then unfortunately, we lose a lot of folks to the military, or they go on to other federal agencies. So retention has always been a big problem with CQA. That as far as them, making sure that they have the appropriate number of officers on board. I mean that. I would think that would have to be part of the study as well, right? Being able to, part of the discussion has to be how do we equipment, right? Making sure that we have the equipment that's operating, and if it's not operating, why is it not operating? And if our force is lower than it should be, what do we need to do to be able to get more folks through the pipeline, and then keep them here? I would think that those things are part of the study as well. Would have to be part of the study.
Yes, the study will include those interviews with officers, local government as well, and then the bigger picture with the Indo-PACOM area. The study is going to take about a year to get completed too. This isn't an overnight thing at all. And then from the completion of that, and to move it on forward through the government of Guam, and if it's there or not. And then we also have to have the federal government wanting to agree too. I don't know. But we shall see. Absolutely right, Charlie, and that's the point. We just need that study to determine that, and this will be helpful to move forward.
And absolutely, Congressman, thank you so much for giving us a call. Great job yesterday. Get some rest. You got a lot more going down the pipeline from now until November 5th. So we look forward to seeing you next week as well on the veteran side. So, Congressman, thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling in.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Have a great day.
Okay, you too. Have a great day. Congressman Jim Moylan there. So good to hear from him. Long night, I'm sure. So he's going to recover and all that good stuff. So it's time for, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with the Ray Gibson Show.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam. 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
A double whammy for Florida. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Hurricane Milton becoming more powerful as Florida officials are warning people in its path to be ready to leave.
This is not a storm you want to take a risk on.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says even after some fell to lean, it's a good bet Milton will be much stronger.
The effects of that, not just for the storm surge, but for wind damage and debris, would be really, really significant.
Ahead of an expected Wednesday landfall, Governor DeSantis says there are already lines at gas stations and crowding evacuation routes. He adds, for those on Florida's Gulf Coast right now,
you do have time to get out.
Milton is a Category 5 storm and may weaken some by Wednesday. Governor DeSantis says whatever plans Central Floridians have should be in motion.
Fox's Gernal Scott. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell says there are already personnel in the state as they continue to look for victims from Hurricane Helene.
We're bringing in search and rescue assets from the Coast Guard and the Air Force. We're bringing in our own urban search and rescue teams, Department of Interior. They'll all be available to support people as this storm continues to pass.
Criswell says the National Incident Management Team is in Tampa to bring resources into places where they will be most needed. Vice President Harris marking 1 year since the Hamas attack on Israel, the Naval Observatory, the Vice President's official residence.
I am devastated by the pain and loss that occurred on October 7. And Doug and I pray for the family and loved ones of all of those who were lost.
President Biden marked the anniversary of the attack this morning at the White House and spoke with Israeli President Isaac Herzog, expressing condolences for the 1,200 people, including 46 Americans, that were killed by Hamas that day. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey Guam! Looking for a place to chill and beat the heat? Hafaloha has got you covered. Enjoy their refreshing acai smoothies and bowls packed with fresh fruits and other nutritious fillings, or grab some shave ice that's drenched in tropical flavors, which will transport you straight to paradise. If you're after a meal to satisfy your curiosity and hunger, they have amazing local-style burgers, savory poke bowls, and creative appetizers like the poke nachos and wambam roll. But before you wrap up your day, check out some of their unique merch. Whether you want beach vibes wear or something stylish for a night out, they got it. They're open all week from Sunday to Thursday, 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Hafaloha and at Hafaloha Concert Series for their incredible events. Call 671-989-3444. That's 989-3444.
The Georgia Supreme Court has restored the state's near ban on abortions while it considers the state's appeal. 2 Americans are told they'll spend years in prison in Russia.
Separate cases, similar outcomes. 72-year-old Stephen Hubbard's been convicted of serving as a mercenary for Ukraine. The Michigan native was allegedly paid $1,000 a month to fight in a territorial defense unit. He'd been living in eastern Ukraine since 2014. Hubbard's been sentenced to 6 years, 10 months in a Russian jail. Meanwhile, ex-U.S. Marine Robert Gilman's been sentenced to 7 years and 1 month for assaulting a Russian prison official and a state investigator. He's already serving 3.5 years for attacking a police officer while drunk. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The House Oversight Committee says it's investigating the FCC's decision to deny SpaceX's satellite internet unit Starlink more than $885 million in rural broadband subsidies. The FCC said in December its decision was based on the company's failure to meet basic program requirements and that Starlink could not demonstrate it could deliver promised service. An investigation into the scene of an outer space crash is underway.
It sounds like a movie plot. A killer asteroid is hurtling toward Earth. Can a spacecraft knock it off course and save the planet? That's exactly the question NASA and the European Space Agency are trying to answer. 2 years ago, NASA rammed a small, harmless asteroid to see if it would change course. And today, the European Space Agency's Hera spacecraft is beginning a 2-year journey to the asteroid to examine the impact's aftermath and see what happened to it. Researchers want to know if NASA's DART spacecraft left a crater or reshaped the asteroid. Hera was launched by SpaceX from Cape Canaveral and is expected to make it to the crash site by the end of 2026.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
I'm Tony Ada. I passed the Castle Doctrine and Home Invasion Law to protect Guam's families. So like you, it angers me when I see these career criminals smiling in their mugshots, because they're more protected than the victim. No more. I will introduce the Take Charge Act to take away the keys from these violent offenders and keep drugs off our streets. But I need your vote. Please remember me, Tony Ada, number 2 on the ballot. Sa Diyos Maasi, maraming salamat po, and thank you.
Craving delicious dishes with local flavors? Look no further than Mezcla Bistro. From our juicy burgers to flavorful seafood and local fusion, every dish is made with love and the freshest ingredients. Join us for an unforgettable lunch, dinner, or decadent Sunday brunch. Visit us online at mezclaguam.com or call 671-479-2652 or 671-489-2653 to make a reservation. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, a true taste of Guam.
Update, I'm Tony Ada. As a fellow Republican and primo, I know Vic Gaza. The legacy of public service of Tunpit, Pedro Diaz-Perez, Vic's grandfather, is what spurs his passion to serve our people. Now it's his turn to bring his ideas forward and make those plans become reality. all while working with all his fellow senators to get the job done right. I look forward to see Vic serve our people. I'm voting for Vic, and I humbly ask that you give Vic one of your votes in this general election. Si Jesus Maasi, maraming salamat po, and Viva Guam.
I'm Vic Gaza, and I approve this message.
Calling all chicken nugget lovers. It's time to get saucy with Wendy's. Their flavor-packed nuggets are freshly tossed and sauced to create 7 mouth-watering combinations of flavor, featuring crispy or spicy chicken nuggets tossed in one of 4 delicious sauces: honey barbecue, garlic parm, buffalo, and spicy ghost pepper. The Wendy's saucy nugs are available in 4, 6, 10, or 20-piece and served with a side of ranch or blue cheese dipping sauce for the next level nug experience. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Saucy Nugs.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
On Guam, family is everything. But for many, we're getting sandwiched between caring for our aging parents and for our kids and grandkids. It's a blessing, but for some working families, it's challenging. I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this ad because caring for family shouldn't be impossible. A key priority for me will be working to expand federal support for childcare, fully fund universal pre-K, and increase access to elder care insurance and assisted living. It's great for the economy, but it's also great for families. Paid for by Ginger Cruz for Congress.
Your 8 o'clock local news is brought to you by Family Finance.
Half a day, it's 8:08. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. A 21-year-old man faces multiple charges after a crash on Swamp Road last Friday. Esta Kamune Aneko reportedly had 3 times the legal blood alcohol limit when he collided with another vehicle. His passenger told police he warned Aneko to slow down before the crash. Officers reported a strong smell of alcohol and found a crushed can and a 12-pack of Budweiser in the car. Aneko admitted to drinking at a friend's house prior to driving. After being assessed at the hospital, he was charged with vehicular negligence, driving while impaired, reckless driving, and open container violations. The crash resulted in injuries to others involved. Meanwhile, Guam Cancer Care faces a potential shutdown as its grant from the Guam Cancer Trust Fund is set to expire at the end of this month. This nonprofit has provided vital services like patient navigation, financial assistance, and transportation for cancer patients for 13 years. But it is among several organizations underfunded by $2 million in the recent fiscal year 25 budget. Executive Director Terry Kuabo suggests that the trust fund provide partial grants to ensure essential services continue until the legislature can address funding issues. Without these funds, vital cancer support programs may be jeopardized. More news after this.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that family vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,000 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña 475-4545 or Dedido 633-4473. Family Finance.
As Guam approaches the general election in 28 days, the business community is closely monitoring candidates' proposals. Catherine Castro, president of the Guam Chamber of Commerce, says the private sector seeks qualified leaders who demonstrate economic expertise, integrity, and communication skills. Key concerns include tourism recovery, workforce shortages, and infrastructure development. Castro criticizes the current budget, which prioritizes spending but underfunds healthcare and education. She urges candidates to propose tax reforms, support affordable housing, and streamline regulatory processes to create a more favorable business climate. And Halloween festivities are approaching with exciting events planned. The 3rd annual Halloween fair takes place this Saturday at the Micronesia Mall, featuring a children's costume contest, entertainment, and raffle prizes. JFK's Haunted House runs from October 27 to the 31st at the Agana Shopping Center. GPO will host a costume contest and trick-or-treating on Halloween night. Other events include a Purple Night drive-through in Barrigada, a Halloween Spooktacular in Sinahanya, and a pumpkin carving contest at Akanta Mall. And those are your top stories. Now back to Charlie Hermosa with the weather.
Okay, today, showers, likely possible thunderstorms. Some of the storms could produce heavy rainfall, mostly cloudy with a high near 86, southwest winds 9 to 14 miles per hour. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 78. West-southwest winds 70 to 11 miles per hour. Wednesday, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm, mostly cloudy with a high near 86. Southwest winds 9 to 15 miles per hour with the gusts as high as 22 miles per hour. Wednesday night, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm, cloudy with a low around 78. West-southwest winds 8 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 21 miles per hour. Thursday, showers likely, cloudy with a high near 86. Thursday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 78. Heat index 96 degrees, 60% chance of rain. Rip current and surf hazards are in effect. Sunrise was at 6:11 a.m. and sunset will be at 6:06 p.m. And that is your weather.
I'm Sabrina Salas Matanani, and I'm running for senator for the thousands of you who are frustrated with the current legislature and want change. Some people have become senators and spend their time running for higher office. I will serve you faithfully as a senator, period. I will work hard to ensure that our lawmakers are working for you and not fighting against each other. I'm ready to bring it.
I'm Sabrina Salas Matanani, and I approve this message.
One pill can kill. Fake pills often contain fentanyl. It only takes 2 milligrams of fentanyl, equivalent to a few grains of salt, to be lethal. Fake pills are often sold on social media platforms, making them available to anyone with a smartphone.
Talk early and often to youth about the dangers of misusing prescription drugs and the lethal dangers of counterfeit drugs laced with fentanyl.
Stay informed, stay safe. One pill can kill.
Turn your old phone into new possibilities. Trade-in is back at IT&E with more savings. Now you can get as much as $880 toward a new phone when you trade in your old phone. Plus, any remaining credit can be used to purchase accessories or applied to your account. Choose from the latest devices to upgrade your mobile experience on the widest network in Guam and the Marianas. Terms and conditions apply. Visit ite.net or store for details. IT&E, connections that matter.
Hi, I'm Tom Fisher, and I believe in a woman's right to choose. I'm running for a seat in the 38th Guam Legislature, and I will continue to fight to protect those rights.
Attorney Tom Fisher is running for a seat in the 38th Guam Legislature. The fight must continue.
I'm Tom Fisher, and I approve this ad. We are not going back.
Get ready for the ultimate showdown. On October 11th at Dusitani, it's time to brawl. Grab your tickets at Coffee Slut, go VIP for $150 with dinner included, or get into the action with standing room only for $75. Brawl, where the fiercest fighters meet. Visit Coffee Slut from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. for tickets now.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show featuring Charlie Hermosa is brought to you by American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, and Kim and Ron at Security Title. If you need them for a real estate transaction, they're the ones you need to call. Title research, escrow, and much more. They're the best in the business. Security Title.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
And that's, so we're 28 days away from the election. So early voting begins October 14th, so make sure you go out there if you need to early vote. If you're traveling, I know a lot of folks are going off island. And so, but if you have an opportunity to make sure you early vote, register, early vote, we need it. We need to, every person counts. Let your voice be heard. And so 28 days away. And the one thing, Catherine, from the Guam Chamber is absolutely correct, because one of the things that a lot of the corporations off-island folks that want to invest on Guam, one of the things they talk about is healthcare. Because if they send, their folks over here to, to work for a year or 2 years, they want to make sure that they're going to be taken care of. And that's one of the things they always ask. Workforce is always part of the equation. But healthcare has become another part of the equation, especially when we have folks coming off island and doing some local work. So, hopefully, we can get that all settled out for us to be able to continue to move forward and get some good investment going here on Guam. And talking about 28 days left into the election, I think we do have another caller now.
Yeah, Dr. Ron McNish.
All right, let's
I like to call him Ronnie.
I don't know.
Good morning, Ronnie.
I don't know if I'm there yet, but Dr. McNish, thank you so much. Good morning. Thank you so much for calling us.
Hey, half a day, cousin Charlie, half a day, Mom.
Yes, absolutely. All right. There you go. All right. I like it. It's a way to start the mornings. So
yeah, absolutely.
So, Dr. Malik, so what? I'm sure you had an opportunity to watch the debate yesterday. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I had the wonderful opportunity to attend, and I know you mentioned it earlier, but I think it's well worth saying again. KUM did a great job on organizing it, getting it together. They had a great audience. The audience is always a fun part of the debate, and especially when you have supporters on both sides that kind of help to animate the whole discussion. And so I think that's always a good part of the process. I've got to tell you, and I love the format. I love the arrangements and everything else. But in general, in terms of the debate, both candidates seem to only want to appeal to the fact side of things and not the emotion side of things. And what really gets people to shift their votes and vote with a candidate is how emotionally attached they feel they are to the candidate for whatever reason.
And that's interesting, Doc, because sometimes we are always getting on some of the candidates for not answering any questions with specifics. And so, but I think your part is sort of the emotional aspect of being able to connect to that specific question, right?
Right. And you can't answer the questions with facts, but do it in a way that really clicks with people and they feel they agree with the candidate. And that's really what the goal should be. And both candidates really didn't do that last night. Both of them simply didn't make those connections. They appealed to their groups, and both of them had big groups in the audience, but they didn't appeal to that middle 14% that's really going to decide the election.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Now, do you think that it was because of the type of questions that were being asked, right? I mean, when we're talking about things that are really impacting when it comes to DC on the federal side, I mean, do you think it was the type of questions that were being asked?
Now, I got to tell you, my experience with debates, particularly on this, it doesn't really even matter what the questions are at all. It matters what the answers are in terms of how the candidate's able to weave in their agenda and into the answer format. And so in fact, I don't want to sound at all negative about any of the questions, but there were some questions that there's no role for the delegate to Congress to even address sometimes.
Right. No, exactly. And
tangential at most, yeah.
And we definitely need to take a look at that because obviously the one thing that I had an issue was with the lengthy type of questions at the end from the audience. Maybe there's a different type of format that we can use to be able to ask those questions. But I mean, it kind of hit specific groups. Obviously, that was very important. But the one thing that I want to ask you before we let you go is, did you have a chance to look at the poll that KUAM put out?
Sure. No, they readily shared all those with me and everything else. We have a huge amount of polling data, and I can openly share that with you if you want to hear what our take is on polling.
Yeah, would love to take your take. I mean, obviously, some folks are saying, well, some candidates are like, well, we don't follow the polls, we don't really know what, not to put too much attention to it. But, one of the things that I did see yesterday was, there was a big swing, especially when it became on the senatorial side that, for example, Senator Lujan, had a huge percentage of the voters, of the folks that were polled. And then there was a huge break between, the other candidates from number one all the way down to the rest of the list. And I mean, when you look at numbers like that, what are some of the things that pop up?
Well, they're great for conversation starters and conversation fuelers, basically. But in general, in our poll, there's a couple of things. For the last 2.5, 3 months, Ginger Cruz has had at least 5 points plus across the board. Our most recent poll, it was 55-45 in favor of Cruz. Those numbers always change, and they can change a lot. Usually the delegates race is decided by within 4 points, either 50-48 or even 51-49 in general, because it cleaves out over time. And so we'll see where that goes on either side. That's going to be a close race, I think, in general. In terms of the legislature, I think the Republicans have a very good shot at taking the majority as long as they keep it together. They totally are doing. We did a ballot poll about a week and a half ago. That's where we give people a little piece of paper, just like a little ballot, and people mark their top 15 candidates, and we count them up. Therese and Chris were at the top for those ballots, but Lujan did very, very well. In fact, most incumbents did pretty well, with a few exceptions. And I've got to say that the new faces, particularly, or returning faces, Tony Atta, Sabrina Matanane, and I think Shelley Calvo, those are the three that look like they're going to come in from the outside. And a few of the senators, at least two or more, are probably going to fall out that are on these margins, because they simply they're not going to be able to compete, because you have to have about 42% of voters vote for you to get in the legislature, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. And so in order to get that 42%, you've got to really have almost a centrist view in many of your opinions. So some of our senators have really went off on the totally radical fringe, and it just hasn't hit them yet, because people haven't made the connection that they're not aligning with their values anymore. And once voters feel that candidates or officials do not align with their values, and they do things that are contrary too much, then they fall out with them. An example is, why are they bringing up this crazy golf course sweetheart deal thing right before the election? It's crazy. Have you seen that?
Oh, no, absolutely. And, we've been having lengthy discussions on that. And,
Okay.
Obviously everybody has different takes on, but for me, one of the things that, and we wanted to touch on that because there was a little bit more information that was shared with me that I want to be able to look at before going out, because I think it's pretty interesting on the take on the back end of what's happening with that deal. And so it's a lot of folks have opinions on that, but it just something just doesn't seem right to me on converting the golf course into a solar farm. Just doesn't.
To me, it's a total payola scam, and I'll say that very deliberately. It has scam written all over it, in my view.
Yeah, and as we get more information, and as we
Right.
get more information, we're going to be able to. We're probably going to touch on that tomorrow as well, because I want to be able to go through some additional information. But Doc, lastly, going into the polls and all that, and so now, one of the things that we wanted to, obviously from the Republican side is, we definitely want to be able to get the majority going on the Republican side, and that's going to be, we're definitely heading in the right direction. I haven't really seen too much activity from the Democrats. If you go down, in different villages, I mean, all the candidates out there are waving, and that's just part of the process, right? Part of the game to be able to get seen by the grassroots folks and going and canvassing and all that good stuff. But haven't really seen too much activity from, and maybe it's from where I'm at, but it seems.
No, there's a great reason for it. There's only 11 Democrats.
That's true. Yeah,
they have 15 slots. There's only 11 running. Three of the Democrats aren't even in the Democrat Party. They're in this radical fringe environment, and so they can't even form a majority of their own people. If they do have 8 or above, they can't even form a majority with them, because the others are so radical they don't agree on anything. So that's why they made these alignments with the Republicans. I don't think the Republicans are going to make that mistake again in the coming legislature. If the coalition is needed, it won't be with those three, definitely, I think.
Interesting.
I think that because this coalition arrangement has left the Democrats totally leaderless, because the leader of the Democrat is who's Therese Chalahe, Speaker Chalahe, is not in agreement with the vast majority of the other Democrat senators in the legislature.
And and we've seen it. I mean, we've seen that side being very upset, right? I mean, they don't have that cohesion and that I guess that leadership from the Democrat standpoint. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how everything plays out. We're not going to be done with the discussion regarding GICC. We're definitely going to touch on that again as more facts are being presented. But I definitely wanted to put that on the agenda for tomorrow for sure. But Doctor, thank you so much for calling in, and we always look forward for other polls that are coming out. And as we get closer to November 5th, we look forward to having you on.
Oh, it's always a lot of fun, and Charlie, you do a great service, and good luck in all your efforts. Talk radio is key. if anybody wants to get elected to office, they need to participate in talk radio, because it's not necessarily that people hear you on talk radio. It's that people will talk about what they heard you say on talk radio.
No,
And that right.
Absolutely, absolutely. So definitely we'll take that as a good piece of advice. Well, Dr. McNich, thank you so much for calling in. And like I said, if you want to continue as we head closer to November 5th, please give us a call. We'd love to see all the polling that's happening.
Okay, thank you, Cousin Charlie.
Okay, thank you. That is Dr. Ron McNich. And with that, we'll take a quick break.
Nissan Guam is looking for first-time car buyers. See Nissan first and get our best prices and easy financing without a cosigner. Get a brand new Versa as low as $143 per paycheck. Sentra as low as $161 per paycheck. The Kicks as low as $164 per paycheck. And the Frontier as low as $239 per paycheck. Pre-qualify for financing at NissanGuam.com today. Some conditions apply. See Nissan Guam for details.
Braces for a little while for a lifetime of confident smiles. Let Dr. Kaneshiro DDS MS kindly walk you through the process of orthodontics, straightening those crooked teeth and fixing that bite. You'll be even more confident to flash those pearly whites. Make your appointment with Dr. Kaneshiro today at 646-9890. Having a marvelous set of teeth is a confidence booster, so getting braces, always a great idea. Visit Dr. Kaneshiro today across St. John's and Upper Tumon, serving our island with his professional expertise in orthodontics for over 29 years.
Boss, I got run over by a forklift.
Boss, I crashed a company truck.
What do we do? Our warehouse and inventory are gone.
Hi, this is Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and it's time for Risk 101. Everything you just heard are examples of risk your businesses can face. Our job is to ask the hard what-if questions and teach you how to reduce your exposures and help you recover if things go sideways. We've got decades of experience in Micronesia working with businesses big and small. Call AB Risk Solutions today at 777-2668 for a free inspection and quote.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
This time check is brought to you by Ginger Cruz for Congress. Now more than ever, Guam needs strength, experience, and intelligence in Congress. It's time for a leader. Vote Ginger Cruz.
Paid for by Ginger Cruz for Congress.
All right, welcome back to the Ray Gibson Show. And now, I think it's time that we do some news. Yeah. The KUAM News with Jonagan Charfris.
Buenas and Hofade Guam, I'm Jonagan Charfris. Here's a look at 3 stories you need to know for Tuesday, October 8th. The Dolphins are set to return to their southern campus today after the Department of Public Health granted a passing grade for health inspections. Southern High has fulfilled the necessary criteria to reopen for face-to-face instruction after resorting to online learning that began on August 22nd. The successful passing of sanitation inspections is thanks to the collaboration between the school staff, community volunteers, and the governor's school opening readiness team. A nearly 1-month-long drug investigation led to Guam police detectives raiding a home in Dededo. Authorities took 4 people into custody. Gerald Porte, also known as 40, is charged with 3 counts of delivering, dispensing, manufacturing, and possessing a Schedule II controlled substance. Investigators had surveillance on Porte's home where they witnessed multiple alleged drug buys. Porte allegedly admitted to police that he sold meth. 3 others were found on the property when the raid was executed last Thursday. Dason Ledwig, Russell Calpatura Jr., and Stacy Pakaigui are facing drug possession charges. The trio was released on bond. Porte is being held on $15,000 bail. And the KUAM News 2024 general election polls close on Sunday. The final results are in. A reminder that results of the election poll are not a scientific predictor of an actual election outcome. Polls reflect the opinions of a sample population at a specific moment and may not account for all variables, such as voter turnout or last-minute shifts in public opinion. Therefore, they should be viewed as indicative, not definitive. You can see those results right now on KUAM.com. For these stories and more, make sure to tune in tonight to KUAM TV 8 at 6 p.m. for KUAM News Primetime or visit KUAM.com. You can also stream our newscasts on our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. And make sure to follow KUAM News on Instagram for the very latest. You can also watch our exclusive local channel now on Peacock by visiting peacocktv.com/local. Jonagan Charfris, KUAM News.
Senator Duenas fought to get $20 million in additional education funds and $30 million appropriated to GMH. Senator Chris Duenas' Malik legislation will put more police officers on the streets, and Senator Duenas is always ready to take on Guam's newest challenges. His housing bills will allow for greater construction flexibility. Re-elect Senator Chris Duenas. Focus, balanced, ready.
I am Chris Duenas.
and I approve this message.
The FHP Flu Clinic is Saturday, October 12th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the FHP Health Center Annex in Tamuning. Free for most insurance members, including Take Care, Medicaid, Medicare, Stay Well, TRICARE, and GovGuam self-insurance. For non-members, $40. 65 and older, a high-dose vaccine is $125. Bring your immunization and insurance cards. Call 671-646-5825. FHP Health Center, our island, your clinic.
Guam is key to national security, and Ginger Cruz has a plan to make that the key to our economic success.
I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this ad, and I'll fight to bring the ship repair facility back to Guam to create new high-paying jobs. And I'll expand the use of hub zones to help small businesses grow.
Ginger will make Guam America's economic bridge to Asia to bring down costs and raise opportunity. Ginger Cruz is ready to fight for Guam on day one. Paid for by Ginger Cruz for Congress.
All right, Real Joe, we're coming towards the end again, top of the hour.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Almost getting there. We're gonna have a guest, in studio guest, talking about all things about aviation.
Nice.
So hopefully we'll get to that. And didn't have an opportunity to touch on the. Everybody kept on sending me the things about the drone takedown. So we'll probably touch on that tomorrow real quick because that's pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
that's cool.
That's cool. Interesting.
Ray's excited about it.
No, absolutely.
How did they do it?
No, absolutely. And
Sidewinder missile.
And we'll be able to touch on that. But we do have a caller real quick.
Yeah, Mr. Van Shelley. Good morning, sir.
Van, good morning.
Hey, Charlie, how are you?
Good. I'm sure I know exactly which topic we want to jump into.
Well, yeah, you you mentioned that you were happy to see this Bill 17937 get tabled, and I didn't want to have people think that it was dead. They tabled it because two of the senators, Tina Barnes and Joe St. Augustine, left Island, and they didn't have the votes to pass it. They fully intend to put it back on the table when the new session begins at the end of the month, and they intend on passing this bill. Ron McNish was quite correct when he... and I just wanted to go over with you when you said the tide is turning. I hope it is. I hope the public is becoming aware, and just wanted to go over a few of those points if I could.
Yeah, no, I absolutely, because I think that, with the whole evolution, I think with a lot of the information that's coming out, I mean, I think if folks are following the story, there's a lot of things that just, they're not adding up. They're not really clear. So
yeah, it makes you wonder what the real interest of these senators are, if they have any personal gains, because they're not listening. But just a few points. Number one, GICC has sold the public an absolute false bill of goods, that there's too many golf courses, which is why they can't make it work. They have destroyed this golf course, and I believe they've done it deliberately. But Senator Brown adequately pointed out when the hearing was held that they were hundreds of thousands of dollars in arrears pre-COVID. So this had nothing to do with COVID and had nothing to do with tourists. This is a municipal golf course that was built for the Guam public, not for the tourists. But just let me go on for the bill itself and a few facts that I'd love for people to truly know and understand. And I hope they understand that those of us that are fighting what's going on are not against solar farms. We are against solar farms in a residential area. We are against, and I'll cover that. We are against solar farms that would be put over the top of a perfectly viable $45 million golf course to build. Just a few points that I'd like to get out there for the public to consider. Let's assume for the moment that putting a solar farm on the golf course was a good idea. The CLTC didn't put out a single RFP to find out what it was for them. They just automatically gave this deal to a failing company for years that has never paid their rent on time. These people are incapable of managing a golf course, and yet we're going to put them in charge of managing a significantly more sophisticated commercial solar farm. The legislature failed to wait until a full committee report was issued. They wanted to rush this bill on the floor and get it passed before, I believe, the truth actually came out. They failed to notify the homeowners in the surrounding area statistically that if you own a home in or around a commercial solar farm, your home and your land is going to lose value. They didn't cover that. They failed to cover the fact that statistically the temperature rises in those surrounding areas for those homeowners as much as 9 degrees Fahrenheit. As if Guam isn't hot enough, do you want to own a home where you lose value and the temperature goes up that sufficiently? And how the Didido Council voted in opposition of the golf course and for the solar farm is beyond me, because the mayor and the council did not represent their own homeowners correctly. It's disgraceful.
And Van, and there were a lot of.
If I can, they failed to conduct a complete environmental impact study. They failed to address that there's not one but 3 endangered species that GICC, they call home at GICC. And this is a big one, Charlie. They failed in the language 179-37. It says, the GICC management will fully clean up the solar panels and the batteries and all the hazardous materials on the golf course when the solar farm is no longer productive. But who says that they're going to own the solar farm at the time that these solar panels are no longer productive? What happens in most of these cases, the public probably doesn't know that the investors in this solar farm, and what makes it a green scam, is after 1 year of operation, these people will get a 30% cash rebate from the federal government. 30%. This is a huge windfall for these investors who want the public to believe they're doing this wonderful thing. They're doing this so that they can put a lot of money in their pockets. But the issue is the language in the bill should include a decommissioning bond so that we have a personal guarantee that the island population and the Chamorro Land Trust won't get stuck with multi-millions of dollars in hazardous cleanup when the life of this solar farm comes to an end. And we don't know when that life will be in. A huge Category 5 typhoon could put that solar farm to an end. So it could be in our lifetime, or it may not.
Right.
I'm kind of old right now.
No, and Van,
I don't know if I'm going to get there.
And that's one of the issues that I think there were several, residents who were against the solar farm because of some of the reasons that you're bringing up. And there's been case studies as well, right? When it comes to the environmental impact.
The information I'm giving is based on statistical studies, and you don't have to go outside of Guam to find out that there are problems with commercial solar farms. All you got to look is the 2 we have now, the one in Manila and the one down south. I mean, they're already asking for more money. They're failing to get up. They're failing to produce. But then one other item is that they failed to get a current appraisal for the land. The last one was done in 1989. And the rents were given to the GICC for a municipal golf course at a discounted rate because it was designed to be a morale and welfare, a private commercial use. And so at least an appraisal should be done and RFP should have gone out. But what we're trying to do is to convince the people to say, look, this golf course, the Guam population would love to have this municipal golf course and would love to keep it. And all they ever asked for was that it was properly maintained so it was worth their money to pay to play. And I believe we've done that. Now, I personally, you already know because you were the one that called me and told me that, people say Van Shelley is just doing this so that he can put millions of dollars in his pocket and get lower rates. And I told you at the time, I had to laugh. I said, that's pretty ironic. I said GICC is saying that they can't produce a profit in this golf course, but yet suddenly if I get involved, I'm going to make millions of dollars. And I said, boy, what a credit. What a compliment.
No, absolutely. And Van, we're gonna keep we need to have this discussion going because again, one of the things that we've been saying is there's a lot more stuff that's coming out, and it's very interesting because even with the news articles that are coming out, they're adding additional information. Comments made by GPA saying that there was not a contract in place when that's one of the things that they were talking about how to be able to resell some of this power, but apparently that's not in play until the contract is actually awarded, and when we don't really know when that contract is going to be awarded. But one of the things that we will continue this discussion, Van. We'll have to take a quick break, but we will not.
Before you get off, before you cut me off, I just want to let you know that for those that probably didn't listen to the discussion on the bill, Speaker Terlahi, Senator Joanne Brown, Senator Tello Taitagui, and Chris Barnett all did an amazing job of identifying the problems with the bill, trying to add amendments to the bill so that they could try to protect this community, and every single amendment was shot down by these 8 senators without discussion. They went so far as to try to kill this discussion and go straight to passing the bill. So I want to compliment those senators for trying to protect the people of Guam. And I have to tell you, the fact that these 8 senators didn't even want to listen to common sense amendments, just makes you think, as you say, there's more to it. And I would just love to know what the personal benefit or gain is, because I don't believe that they're doing this because they think they're acting in the best interest of Guam.
No, absolutely.
I just don't believe it.
No, absolutely. And we definitely need to keep an eye on that, because I think we would all love to know exactly if there's anything, because it's not adding up. Something doesn't look right. So hopefully is nothing bigger. We'll see exactly how this thing plays out. Van, thank you so much for giving us a call. But we're going to keep this on the radar, because we need to continue to have this discussion, because we can't just put it to the side.
I would love to get on the air with Ray, and I can go. There's a ton more stuff to talk about, but I was just trying to go over some facts that I would hope the Guam public would immediately understand and ask themselves, why wasn't that done? Why didn't we wait for a full committee report? Why wasn't there an environmental impact study?
Exactly.
Why? And they should be asking these questions, because it is a scam. And and Tina Munoz Barnes should have recused herself as acting speaker. I'm sorry, but I have it on good authority that she has a family member that has a financial interest, and yet she was the one shutting down debate, and she should have never accepted the job of acting as speaker when Speaker Terlahi took her seat as a senator so that she could contest the bill.
No, Van. And like I said, we're going to continue this discussion. Thank you so much for calling in. And again, we're going to continue this discussion, and because there's more information to come out. And so again, thank you so much for giving us a call.
Thanks for taking the call, Charlie.
Absolutely. Thank you. So have a great morning. All right. So, Joe, we're going to take a quick break, or we're going to jump into...
We'll take a break, and then we'll get to aviation.
Absolutely. All things aviation. Thank you very much. We'll take a quick break.
I'm Kaleo Moylan, and I'm here to support Sean Gumatautau for Senator. Sean brings over 10 years of experience in government service and over 12 years of experience as a private entrepreneur. His knowledge and experience in government and the private sector will make him a valuable contributor to the Guam legislature. I kindly ask for your vote for Sean Gumatautau.
I'm Sean Gumatautau, and I approve this message.
Guam is key to national security, and Ginger Cruz has a plan to make that the key to our economic success.
I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this ad, and I'll fight to bring the ship repair facility back to Guam to create new high-paying jobs. And I'll expand the use of hub zones to help small businesses grow.
Ginger will make Guam America's economic bridge to Asia to bring down costs and raise opportunity. Ginger Cruz is ready to fight for Guam on day one. Paid for by Ginger Cruz for Congress.
Half a day and mabuhay. I'm Mary Ann Suyal Lujan, Vice Mayor of Guimbal, Iloilo, Philippines. My husband, Senator Jesse Lujan, is running for re-election as your senator. Senator Jesse fights to reduce inflation, improve healthcare and education, rebuild tourism, and combat crime. Please vote for Senator Jesse Lujan. Thank you very much, and si Juus Maasi.
I'm Jesse Anderson Lujan, and I approve this message.
Half a day. I'm Annette Atta. My husband Tony and I have been together for more than 40 years. He's an amazing husband, father, and grandfather. Tony has always answered the call to serve, whether it be as a soldier in the U.S. Army, as a member in various community organizations, or as a multi-term lawmaker. This coming November, please give him the chance to once again serve our island. Please vote for my husband, Tony Atta, for Senator. Thank you.
I'm Tony Atta, and I approve this message.
Every year we face the same problems because we choose people that are nice rather than voting for leaders who are proven and offer solutions. Some of those nice senators have introduced bills that don't make us any safer or improve our quality of life. I'm Sabrina Salas-Matanani, and I'm not running for senator to be nice. I'm running to be effective and provide solutions for you.
I'm Sabrina Salas-Matanani, and I approve this message.
All right, Real Joe. And, we've been, we're going to discuss the drone situation tomorrow, and also something that popped on the wire as far as, something that happened in Las Vegas airport with one of the Frontier
Oh,
Airlines
boy.
catching on fire while it was landing. But
Aye.
that's not the best segue to this discussion. But it's
Probably not, Charlie.
But wanted to welcome and bring on the show Alvin Buntovis. Thank you so much. And I'm not gonna take too much away from his thunder, but I do want to highlight the fact that he is a local boy in the airline industry, and all things, he is a graduate of Southern High. So thank you so much for
having me.
Alvin, thank you so much for joining us today. And like I said, I don't want to take too much away from your thunder because we do want to share the fact that Alvin is actually here, and he's actually going to put on a workshop on aviation career, talking about his career and his pathway into the aviation industry. And it's going to be today at the Bella Wings Aviation office, 3rd floor, the Tumon Sands, between 4 to 6. So if you have an opportunity to come out and hear an amazing story from somebody from the local, and if you're passionate about aviation, if you're passionate about going into the industry, come out and join us today again between 4 to 6 at the Bella Wings Aviation, 3rd floor in the Tumon Sands, Suite 326.
Okay, his name is Alvin?
Alvin.
Okay,
yes.
that's not Donna De Jesus. I don't know how to change that there where it says Donna De Jesus, but it's Alvin.
Alvin, so once again, welcome so much, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So how does it feel to be back?
It's great. Yeah, I miss the warm weather. I miss the beaches here.
So now you do. So now you miss the warm weather. So where are you now?
Indiana.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So you're heading into the winter months.
Yes, I am. Yes, one of my friends, she was showing me the weather back there. It's like 46 degrees right now.
Already.
Yes.
Wow. So you were like, let me take this opportunity to head out to Guam.
Oh
and-
yes,
yeah.
yes. They gave me 2 weeks off, and then I was saying I'm gonna go back to Guam and just do the full 2 weeks back home.
That is amazing. And we've been have you been following what's going on with Southern High and everything that's been going on? I'm getting them open, and so
Yeah. I saw that they just returned back to school today.
Yes, just today, right? And
Yes.
we're October, and it's but so that's one of the things I'm very passionate on the education side, but also making sure that those things don't happen. So hopefully we'll make things better in the upcoming months. But really wanted to talk to you about aviation, all things aviation. So take us through your journey as far as when you started. When you first thought about going into the air, flying. Did you do the Discovery flight first? Did you go up in the air?
Not actually. So
Okay.
I am not a. So I do not fly yet.
Okay.
So I started my aviation career back in 2019 when I first moved out. When I first moved to Indiana. So I started with Republic Airways, which is the regional airline out of Indiana. So it's the second largest regional.
Okay.
So I started off as a crew scheduler.
Okay.
And then went through COVID with them. So that was kind of tough with them. It went down. We normally had a staff of like 14, 15 people.
Wow. Okay.
During on all shifts. And then we went down to like 2 to 3 people on all shifts
Wow.
at one point.
But the planes were still going in the air, right?
The planes were still going in the
yeah.
air. Crew were still going. It was insane. And then, I got so we stopped hiring for a second, and then when we started hiring again, I moved departments. I moved over to the training side, so I did the training logistics side.
Oh, okay.
And then did that for a year and a half, and then kind of got stagnant. So spoke to my director. I was like, "Hey, I'm pretty stagnant where I'm at. What can I do next?" And he was like, "Well, we're opening up another position. We'll just move you. We'll do a lateral promotion." So I ended up I became a flight training coordinator. So I was building all the training schedules for all of our pilots that were coming in.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's an interesting part of the whole aviation career as well. I think that those are all. I mean, last week we were talking about the maintenance side. Because on the aviation side, it's not just pilots, right? I mean, there's other components within the whole industry and career, and that's one of the things that you want to be able to discuss as well. And your journey into this sort of pathway in the aviation industry, and now, from what I understand, is now you're a recruiter.
Yes, now I'm a recruiter for our flight school.
Oh, okay, amazing. Yeah. And so, being that you're a recruiter, so now are you going to go out throughout the mainland, different states, or are you like off island going into different, like Hawaii, Guam?
No, so the Guam stunt, the Guam was actually just
your own personal.
Yeah,
endeavor.
my own personal.
Yes.
I reached out to Women in Aviation, and I was like, "Hey, I'm coming to Guam. What can I do to bring aviation, like the Lift Academy, over to Guam?" So I reached out to my boss. He was like, "Hey, you're on vacation. I don't know how you feel about it. I was like, hey, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for me to bring Lift Academy to Guam. What can I do? He was like, if you're okay with it, if you're okay with doing it on your vacation, by all means, do it.
That's amazing. And so good on you for reaching out for women in aviation. You know, Perla does an amazing job. Anna and everybody that's involved in that organization is just, I mean, not only promoting women in aviation, but the fact that they touch on the career paths that are out there. So we do have the workshop this afternoon from 4 to 6. Talk to us a little bit about what we're going to be, you know, what are we going to be talking about? What are you going to be going through with the different folks?
So it's pretty much just going in more in depth about our career pathway program to Republic Airways. So all of our students that start off at the Lift Academy, once they graduate, so they earn their private, instrument, commercial, and their multi with us, and then once they're done, once they graduate, they earn their CFI, CFII. So they'll earn their CFI, CFII, and then they'll start to time build. And then once they're done time building, they'll flow directly into Republic Airways as a first officer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then Republic operates for American, Delta, and United.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I mean, we definitely have a connection with United.
Yeah. So
it's probably the only way to get here from.
Yeah. So we operate for 3 major airlines in the U.S.
Oh, that's amazing. And you know, unfortunately, you did not have the opportunity to go down and talk to the Southern High students, right? I mean, but that would have been a great opportunity, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So when we talk about that career path, and you mentioned becoming first officer, how long is that process? How long do you think that would take?
So the program normally takes anywhere between 12 to 18 months, but since it is a full-time program, a lot of the students typically get it done within 13 months.
Wow, I mean, it seems like a long time, but I would imagine you're so busy, right? I mean, trying to get you're studying, you're flying, you're studying, and and we've seen other programs where the way you go through the path is you kind of create your own schedule, but that seems to take a lot longer, right? I mean, some folks take a break, and then it takes them almost 2 or 3 years to get their own just a personal private pilot's license.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. So when you go through a program through Lift Academy, it's really geared towards putting you through the pipeline and getting you to wear those 3 bars, right? So and then how does that work? So you graduate, you're going into the pipeline with Republic, and you're able to serve, Delta, American, United. So how does that work? And so what would be the process after you get rated as a first officer?
As in, so once you start flying?
Yeah, once you start flying, yeah. So, I mean, how do you get hired? Then you have to go through a hiring process?
Nope. So your first initial interview with the Lift Academy, so once you get accepted into the Lift Academy, that is your actual interview for Republic Airways as well.
Oh, okay. So So there's definitely a sort of light at the end of the tunnel, right? Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. I mean, and that's a lot of it of what we talk about here, right? Being able to have programs that, you go through an academic program, but there's actually a job as soon as you graduate, right? You don't even have to think about it, right?
Oh yeah, and I think that's the greatest part about it is, you don't have to worry about, hey, what am I going to do at the end, because you have that job lined up for you. And even with the hiring freeze, you're still guaranteed a job at the end of it.
I mean, and that's amazing. And then obviously with other career pathways, then you start thinking about what the next endeavor is going to look like after, you get enough hours, and obviously everybody wants to become a captain, right? I mean, and so or fly the bigger planes, right?
And you can, once you and you are guaranteed a job. You are guaranteed an interview with United and American after your contract is done with Republic.
Oh, that's even more of an incentive, and that's actually that's actually discussed while you're going through the training. Wow. That's amazing.
And we have multiple locations for the Lift Academy, so we don't just have our Indianapolis location.
What other locations do you have?
So we have Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
That's
Galveston, Texas.
Okay.
And then we are partnering with Tuskegee, Alabama.
Okay.
So the university. So we'll partner with the university, and then we'll also have our actual satellite location down there as well.
Oh, very nice. I mean, really cool places. Oh, yeah. Obviously, Indianapolis might be a little bit chilly, and then
that was the whole reason that we opened the Myrtle Beach and Galveston location. Was during the winter months we don't really train up in Indy. So
You go down
Yeah,
south.
so during those 3 months, so during January to March, what we do is we bring our students from the Indy location and we bring them down to Myrtle or Galveston, and we actually pay for their lodging while they're down there.
Another great point. I mean, that's huge, and it's just like the birds. Real Joe, birds migrating from the winter months going down south. No pun intended.
They're running from the cold.
Right, running from the cold. But again, so this afternoon from 4 to 6 at the Bella Wings Aviation, 3rd floor to Tumont Sand, Suite 326, we're going to have a workshop with Alvin being able to walk us through this different career paths that we have with Lift Academy. It sounds like an amazing. I mean, all the things that you just shared with us are just. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I think that's
It
very
really
structured.
is.
So hopefully, if you can make it out there, bring those who are interested. I mean, is there an age limit? Nope, no age limit. So if you're interested in flying or trying to get into this career path, please come on by 4 to 6 this afternoon. Alvin, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you this afternoon, and come on by whenever you want. And welcome home.
Yeah,
welcome home. So thank you so much, Alvin. Thank you. Real Joe, and again, I think all things, we'll talk about drones tomorrow, and we'll talk about that Frontier incident tomorrow as well. Yeah, I just, I didn't want to say anything because, Ray was coming back. Didn't want to scare him on his way back.
No
because
worries,
of that
man.
stuff.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, so with that, I mean, a lot of things going on, this week, and obviously we have 28 days left. The one thing that I do want to leave you, and if we can get this information by tomorrow, is what is okay? Halloween is coming up, October 31st. What is the costume of this year? Like, what is the what is the costume that everybody's going out and buying? Like, we need to be able to look at that. So would love to see if anybody can share that with us. Call on in tomorrow. Let us know what the costumes are going to be. And with that, we will take a quick break and we'll be right back.
I'm Ginger Cruz, and I grew up in a middle-class family in Dededo. My parents saved for years to buy our home, but today, too many families are locked out of that dream.
Ginger Cruz has a plan to make affordable housing a reality.
I'll fight for flexibility so H2 Labor can build homes outside the fence.
She'll focus on tax credit programs to boost development and get Guam its share of national money to help first-time home buyers.
I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this ad, and I'm ready to fight for Guam on day one.
Paid for by Ginger Cruz for Congress.
Senator Will Parkinson knows that your home is your castle. That's why he fought to expand the castle doctrine, empowering you to protect your family, your property, and your rights. With Senator Parkinson in the legislature, your right to defend what's yours is stronger than ever. Senator Parkinson stands for your Second Amendment rights and your right to protect your home. Strong, decisive, and committed to your safety. Let's re-elect Senator Will Parkinson.
I'm Will Parkinson, and I approve this message.
I'm Rachel, mother of 4. Babies born on Guam are more likely to die in the first year than anywhere else in the nation.
I'm Tom Fisher. We have to turn that statistic around, and I've introduced a bill in the Guam legislature to do just that. We have to save the next generation of Guamanians.
Vote for attorney Thomas Fisher. The fight must continue.
I'm Tom Fisher, and I approve this ad. We are not going back.
On Guam, family is everything. But for many, we're getting sandwiched between caring for our aging parents and for our kids and grandkids. It's a blessing, but for some working families, it's challenging. I'm Ginger Cruz. I approve this ad because caring for family shouldn't be impossible. A key priority for me will be working to expand federal support for childcare, fully fund universal pre-K, and increase access to elder care insurance and assisted living. It's great for the economy, but it's also great for families. Paid for by Ginger Cruz for Congress.
All right, and with that, we'll close it up. Real Joe, thank you so much, and Ray, thank you so much for allowing me to sit in this seat. We'll look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow and hearing from everybody tomorrow. Everybody have a great Tuesday. Have a great day, everybody.
Warnings already up on Florida's Gulf Coast. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Hurricane Milton, a powerful Category 5 storm taking aim at Florida's Gulf Coast. 6 counties already on high alert. The state's still dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell says federal help is already there.
Several hundred personnel that have been supporting the Helene response, but another group of individuals that have been here supporting previous hurricanes. They're pivoting a little bit of their work so they can support the immediate needs, but we're moving in additional resources.
Milton expected to make landfall late Wednesday.